have guys like Adam Foote, Brad Talley, and Bobby Bugner, who's all three last year 19-year-old defensemen with a tremendous amount of experience, and backed up by that two strong goaltenders in Mike Leonarduzzi and Kevin Hudson.
You've done a great job controlling the big line, centered by Eric Lindros. How have you done that?
You know, it's a simple thing of balance. You know, we haven't got one line to say, okay, your job is to shut down Eric. If you happen to be on the ice, you have to pay a little bit more attention to him. We haven't got one line. You know, we have a line of Ralph and Chanuba that, you know, is out there majority of the time, but, you know, Colin Miller's line goes out, and Jarrett Reid's line goes out too. So we haven't got one really set line out against them, but I think the biggest thing is we have Adam Foote on defense out against them a lot.
Ted, thanks very much. Good luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
If Ted Nolan's team wins one more game, it advances to the Memorial Cup, and at the same time, it can end the junior hockey career of Eric Lindros. We'll have the game live here on TSN. Now back to Sports Desk and Michael Landsberg.
But before we get to that, we have several more stories to tell you about and to show you when we return tennis. The finals of the AT&T Challenge, the round robin saw Andre Agassi and David Wheaton advance to the final. We'll show you how that one was completed. It was a pretty good match. And we'll show you how the Byron Nelson was completed. Ray Floyd was amongst a number of players who were chasing Nick Price. We'll see if they can catch him when we return.
Four for the price of three. Why didn't you tell me? I did. You did not. I told you, but you never once tell me about it. You don't. I never heard a word I say. What?
Did you hear that? 4 tires for the price of 3?
Yep.
Deals like that don't come along every day. Nope.
Let me see here. 4, carry the 3. Wow, that's a good deal.
The Goodyear Grand Slam tire sale. 4 for the price of 3 on selected tires and many other great values.
Got to get to Goodyear. Go down here. Turn right. Now then.
Time now for the Adidas Trivia Challenge, brought to you by Adidas Equipment, the best of Adidas. Which NHL player holds the record for the fastest goal from the start of a playoff game? The answer in a moment.
Number 1 draft.
Sport isn't greed.
What is wrong
Sport
with you?
isn't arrogance.
Do your job.
Sport isn't big business. Sport isn't gimmicks. Sport isn't life and death. It's time to get back to what is essential.
Don Kozak of the Kings scored 6 seconds into their playoff game against the Bruins, April 17th, 1977. Adidas Equipment, the best of Adidas.
It would be very tough to say who is the better tennis player right now, Monica Seles or Steffi Graf. Those two met in the finals of the German Open today, and as you'd expect, it was extremely close. In fact, it is still extremely close. Cold weather in Hamburg forced them to postpone the completion until tomorrow. Graf won the first set 7-5. Seles won the second in the tiebreaker, and Graf leads the third right now, 2-1. Meanwhile, the top American men were in Smyrna, Georgia for a round-robin tournament. Andre Agassi beat Michael Chang yesterday to advance to the final, while David Wheaton surprised Pete Sampras, so those two went head-to-head. That's David Wheaton in the far court against Andre Agassi, whose hair suddenly has gone dark. Apparently, with age, it is losing its blondness. Agassi, at this point, leads by a score of 5-4. That's a beautiful passing shot. First set goes to a tiebreaker, and the tiebreaker is highlighted by probably the best rally of the match. Look at this baby shot. Agassi appears to have a winner, but there's Wheaton, and there's Agassi. Andre wins the first set 7-6. We're close friends. I can call him by his first name. We move to the second set now. It's all Andre Agassi, leading 5-1. Watch Wheaton. Hardly even moved. It was that kind of match. 7-6, 6-1. Agassi wins. So that's the way it finished. 7-6 and 7-3 in the tiebreaker and 6-1. Andre Agassi played very well, probably the best that he has in quite some time at the AT&T Challenge in Georgia. Tom Kite was the leader heading into today's final round of the Byron Nelson Classic in Irving, Texas, but you just had the feeling the Kite's two-stroke lead didn't really mean very much. There were 14 golfers within 4 shots of the lead, and of the 14, 7 or 8 at least knew how to win tournaments. And Tom Kite really bowed out of this one early on. He has had trouble closing in the past, and here on number 11, his tee shot falls into the water. He shot a 75 today, not a factor. Ray Floyd, very much a factor. Here on the back 9, he's on number 13, and he is just blazing. This for birdie, it falls. He chips in to move to 7 under par. And then on the 17th, Floyd with the long birdie putt. Why, when I do golf, I feel like whispering. His birdie putt is good, just barely. but that was not enough to catch Nick Price. Here in number 16, he has a short putt for birdie, and he sinks it to go to 10 under par with a one-stroke lead. And now on number 18, Price taps in for par, and he wins $180,000 and takes home his second tournament win. The last one was in 1983, so that probably felt pretty good. Nick Price with a one-stroke victory over the Walrus. 4 others were tied at 8 under par. As for the Canadians, the top one was Richard Zokel, who finished up 7 strokes off the pace. Meanwhile, it was a very good day for Canada. Qualifying has begun for the Barcelona Olympics in soccer. Canada is grouped with several countries in its zone. They must first of all win the zone before they can even think of qualifying. Today, they face Trinidad and Tobago in Vancouver. You may have seen the game on TSN. And Canada won by a score of 3-0. So an impressive performance by Canada to start the zone qualifying. That is certainly a good way to start. Coming up tonight on TSN, we will have hockey. Ontario Hockey League. Right now, it is Sault Ste. Marie leading Oshawa by a score of 3-1. And you are looking at a live shot in Oshawa. You'll see Eric Lindros, possibly, there he is, playing his last game as a junior. But keep in mind that last year they trailed Kitchener 3-1. And 2 baseball scores for you. San Diego beat Montreal by a score of 6-3, and the Jays were 3-0 winners over Kansas City. For everybody at the Sports Network, I'm Michael Lancer. Thanks for joining us.
Sports Desk is brought to you by Federal Express. When someone is depending on you to deliver, you can depend on us. Next time, send it Federal Express. And by Goodyear. From tune-ups to tires, Goodyear takes you home.
You're watching TSN, the Sports Network.
Welcome to a sold-out Oshawa Civic Auditorium, where tonight the defending Memorial Cup champion Oshawa Generals face elimination in the Ontario Hockey League Finals at the hands of the Soo Greyhounds. The story of this series begins 2 springs ago, when the Greyhounds had the first pick in the Ontario Hockey League entry draft.
Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds select from the St. Michael Buzzards, right wing center, Eric Lindros.
He's the best player available. I mean, that's what the draft is all about.
But Lindros refused to report, forcing a blockbuster trade that sent 5 players north in exchange for junior hockey's newest superstar. The trade paid off for Oshawa as Lindros led the Generals to a Memorial Cup last spring. Now it's the Greyhounds who are a victory away from the '91 Memorial Cup in Quebec City. This week at home, they welcome Lindros to the Soo for the first time, and the fans showed that they have not forgotten. But the jeers for Eric Lindros turned into cheers for the hometown team as the Soo came away with 2 emotional victories. Tonight, the story has come full circle. The team that Lindros turned down wants to be the team responsible for ending his junior career on a losing note. Tonight, the road to the Memorial Cup continues. It's the Generals and the Greyhounds. Game 5 coming up live on TSN. The Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, the team which works hard and plays with lots of emotion every game. Adam Foote anchors the blue-collar defense. And the offense isn't afraid to get its hands dirty either. Led by Jarrett, Reid, and Tony Yob, the Greyhounds will have their hands full tonight in Oshawa. The Oshawa Generals are looking at an uncertain future. The pressure has been focused squarely on this man, Eric Lindros. And that's where the Greyhounds have focused their attack in this series. But the Generals will have to rally around their other stars if they're to make their way back to the 1991 Memorial Cup. TSN presents CHL Sunday Night Hockey. Tonight, Game 5 of the Ontario Hockey League Final. The Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds versus the Oshawa Generals. Brought to you by Molson. What beer's all about. Performance Gasoline Formula Shell. It is an excited but very nervous crowd on hand here at Oshawa this evening for Game 5 of the Ontario Hockey League Final. Good evening. Welcome to Oshawa. I'm Peter Watts. I don't think a lot of the fans that are in this building this evening expected this series to be quite as difficult as it's turned out to be. But the Soo Greyhounds are full value for a 3-1 series lead, and let's look at how they got to this point. They got the split they needed in the first 2 games of the series in Oshawa, winning Game 1 4-2, and then losing in the second game by 5-4. Then perhaps the key moment in the series. They went home. They were down 5-2 in the third period of Game 3. They came back with 3 goals to tie and got an overtime goal to win it. And then they won Game 4 on Friday night by a score of 8-5 to lead the series 3-1. So many storylines to this. The big trade, of course, which has paid dividends for both teams. The young goalkeeper, Mike Fountain, will be the starter tonight for Oshawa. Used to be Sault Ste. Marie property. And, of course, Jerry Basson, the architect of some great teams over 12 years in Oshawa, the man who has helped to put together the team in Sault Ste. Marie that's 60 minutes away from going to the Memorial Cup. For their thoughts on Game 5, here's Gord Miller and Bob McKenzie.
Eric Lindros didn't want to go to the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds when they drafted him, but he'd love a return trip to the Soo now. Bob McKenzie, what do the Generals have to do to stay alive in this series?
Really very simple, very basic hockey, and that is defensive hockey. They've got to start taking care of business in their own end. To this point, they've allowed more than 200 shots in 4 games. Their goaltending's been outstanding, but they're still giving up over 50 shots per game. As a result, the 6 defensemen is really a challenge for them. Coach Rick Kornacki has put it out to them. Listen, guys, if we want to stay in this series, you guys really have to start playing some better defensive hockey, and that's what it boils down to.
A lot of people are surprised that the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds are in this position, but really they were one of the hottest teams in the OHL down the stretch. They won 9 of their last 10. They've really done a job on the Generals.
They're balanced all the way through. You look at their goaltending, Hodgson and Leonardowski, very solid in net. On defense, Coach Rick Kornacki of the Oshawa Generals believes the best threesome on defense in the Ontario Hockey League belongs to these Greyhounds in Brad Kiley, Bob Bugner, and Adam Foote. And then up front, they've got 4 lines they can throw out in any given situation, and 3 of those lines are very good at scoring goals as well as preventing them. So it really shouldn't be a surprise. This is a very well-balanced, disciplined, hard-working hockey team. And those forwards are being very aggressive and making life really miserable for that Oshawa defense that has to shape up tonight.
Eric Lindros has played some great games in this building. If he doesn't play one tonight, he may very well have played his last game in junior hockey. Let's go back to Peter Watts.
All right, gentlemen, thank you. A sold-out building, a lot of enthusiasm. The one thing that serves the Oshawa Generals well is that they have been here before. They were down 3-1 to Kitchener last year and won the series. Can they do it again? We'll find out.
Away with Formula Shell.
King Bee gets the honey.
There's banking, and then there's Scotia Banking. We shop in the same stores you do. We know what a dollar buys and how hard it can be to make ends meet. We've got families to raise and taxes to pay, and we worry about nursing the car through another winter just like you. So when we talk to you about Scotia Bank services, we're not trying to sell you something you don't need. We're trying to help. Scotia Banking means believing in people and proving it every day.
The experts on replacement parts.
GM parts for a GM car? It's the only way to go. Our prices and warranties can challenge any specialty shop.
Nothing fits better on your GM car or truck.
We know these cars. GM parts were made to fit them. It's that simple.
Brakes, mufflers, shocks, our customers get the best. And that's approved GM parts.
Nobody knows your GM vehicle better than your GM team. GM Parts and Service, the expert choice.
They began filing into this arena at about 6 o'clock. It is still standing room only for Game 5 between the Generals and the Greyhounds. Are the fans in Oshawa seeing the last of Eric Lindros in junior hockey? They certainly hope not. The goaltenders have both played for the teams that they are facing. The starter for Sault Ste. Marie, Mike Lenarduzzi, a former Oshawa General, was been pulled in his last 2 starts against Oshawa, including Game 3 of this series, when he gave up 4 quick goals. The starter for Oshawa, Mike Fountain, a former Sault Ste. Marie Greyhound, 1-3 against the Greyhounds, including 0-2 in the playoffs. He gave up 8 goals in his last start. That was in Game 4 of this series. The referee for tonight's game is Don Van Massenhoven. The linesmen, Rick Savuki and Ken Cox. They may be busy tonight. We expect a rough Game 5 between these two teams. It has been very physical so far.
The Oshawa Generals are a desperate hockey team. They'll be playing desperate hockey tonight, down 3-1. Their season could end tonight. Unlike a year ago, they were down 3-1 to the Kitchener Rangers. They knew no matter what happened, they were going to Memorial Cup. There's no guarantees this year.
Lindros steps in to take the draw against Jarrett Reid, and we are underway in Game 5 of the series. And we have a quick whistle as icing is the call against the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds.
Well, Coach Ted Nolan of the Soo Greyhounds is a former Soo Greyhound, played on the same team that Wayne Gretzky played on, and this hockey team is molded in his image. He's a native Canadian and a resident of the Garden Indian River Reserve on the east fringe of Sault Ste. Marie, and he would like nothing better than to see his team continue to play exactly the way they've played, well-balanced, disciplined, very aggressive, and continue that tonight. They'll have a series victory and on their way to the Memorial Cup in Quebec.
And they've done a good job in shutting down Eric Lindros. Lindros has been plagued with penalty troubles. He is the most penalized player in this series. That is not good news for the Oshawa Generals. He has Robbie Pearson here with him. The two traditional line mates, both 50 goal scorers this season in the Ontario Hockey League. Colin Miller, the other number 88, they call him, is the leading scorer in this series. He steps in to take the draw against Lindros as Pearson now goes in for Oshawa. They can't keep it in at the line. Krajewicz now controls it in the neutral ice area. Quick break now for Sault Ste. Marie. Adam Foote, he's brought down to neutral ice. And Oshawa takes control. David Krajewicz. Lead pass for Lindros. He can't control it. Denny Lambert clears it in, but it's taken there by the Generals. Brian Grieve now clears it out, and Sean Imber shoots it back in. Aggressive forechecking by the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. You can see it right there. Mathos behind the net checks his man Grieve. Mathos now fighting for it in the corner. Pearson comes back to take it off his stick. Picked up by Jarrett Reid behind the net and dangerously in front for Lambert, but he couldn't control it. Now here's Pearson. Pearson gets around his man. Gets it ahead to Grieve. Grieve shoots it in. Lindros looking for the loose puck in the corner. Pearson picks up his man. Lindros centers. Quick shot there by Scott Hollis. Goes just wide. And back come the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Foote checked into the boards by Grieve. Good tempo here in the first period. Krajewicz now. Dale Craigwell has the puck taken off his stick. Both teams making changes. Loose puck in center ice. Here's Tilly. Tiley comes in across the line now. No one on him. Tiley into the slot. Finally checked off the puck by Krajewicz. Paul O'Hagan, the captain of this team, gives it away. Tiley, quick shot. Handled there by Mike Fountain. Behind the net now, Fountain falls on it as he had a Sault Ste. Marie Greyhound right on top of him.
Well, down the end of the Oshawa bench, Coach Rick Kornacki says his team hasn't risen to the challenge against the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. He's got to get a better effort, especially from his defensemen and from maybe Rob Pearson. Lindros has 5 goals in the season, 5 goals in this series. Pearson's been the real quiet man, and here's a good setup. Pearson comes in, good forechecking. Lindros picks up the loose puck and puts it out to Scott Hollis, who's taking the place of Matt Hoffman on that line. Lenarduzzi makes the save. Gets one under his belt early.
Ralph Infernuvo in for the draw for Sault Ste. Marie, but it's picked up by the Generals. Dale Craigwell. Lead pass for Lewick is intercepted at the line. They can't keep it in. Joe Busillo now bangs his man to the boards, and we'll have our first penalty. Scott Lewick of the Generals goes off, so Sault Ste. Marie will have the power play when we come back on CHL Sunday night on TSN.
In the game of hockey, as in life, success comes when solid offense is balanced by superior defense. That's why Transamerica Life offers Canadians a solid lineup of investment products, balanced by innovative, affordable life insurance. For over 60 years, Canadians have counted on Transamerica Life for balance. Call your Transamerica representative for all the financial security you need. Transamerica Life sponsors the Major Junior A Hockey Plus Minus Award.
Scott Lewick goes off for slashing at 149, bangs into Joe Basillo, the overage player for the Soo Greyhounds. It's right at the right of your screen. You'll see the big stick come down, and you actually don't see Basillo on the play, but it was Lewick who gave him a big shot from behind. Greyhounds go on the power play.
Colin Miller takes the draw for Sault Ste. Marie. Here's Adam Foote now shooting around the board. Tony Obb looking for the puck behind the net, but it's cleared out by Fountain right onto the stick of Miller, and quickly gloved by Mike Fountain as Colin Miller was right there to take the shot.
Mike Fountain came over from the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds early this season. Greyhounds had 3 goaltenders, Kevin Hodgson, Mike Lenarduzzi, and Mike Fountain. They weren't sure what to do, couldn't decide who to move. That's the guy they decided to go for future considerations.
And Rick Kornacki had a hunch about Mike Fountain. He faced 58 shots in Game 4 of the series and played very well, even though he gave up the 8 goals. It's Miller against Lindros, the 288. Lindros wins the draw and fires it around the board. Foote can't keep it in as the Generals cleared out. 1:40 left in the penalty to Scott Lewick. Greyhounds on the power play. Here's Brad Tiley now. Tiley for Miller. Long pass to Adam Foote. Foote can't control it. And once again, the Generals clear as Dale Craigwell sends it into the crowd.
We talk about the Oshawa Generals having to get a big effort from players other than Eric Lindros. That's part of the problem with this team, is that there has been an imbalance in scoring. Lindros and Pearson have done most of the damage. Dale Craigwell is a guy that's really going to have to pick up the slack. There are a lot of people, myself included, who think Dale Craigwell hasn't been quite the same since taking an elbow in the face, a very vicious elbow, late in the season.
Lindros wins the draw back to John Paul Davis. J.P. Davis sends it right back into the crowd, so lots of souvenirs early for this capacity crowd here in Oshawa.
Ralph Intronuvo, a very exciting hockey player, an 8th-round pick from the midget draft from the Young Nats, and nobody expected this guy to make the team, and he's been one of the most exciting players on the team this year.
Intronuvo is his team's leading scorer in the playoffs, looking to get on the board here on the power play with 1:15 left. The Generals will start once again in their own zone. Tyler for Intronuvo. Across the line now. Intronuvo can't get around O'Hagan. J.P. Davis fighting for it in the corner with Basillo. Davis comes away with it. He's pulled down, and here comes Eric Lindros. Lindros for Robbie Pearson. Pearson across the line, looking for Lindros again. Loose, he tips it just wide. Pearson waited for Lindros, and Lindros had a great short-handed chance. Back come the Greyhounds. Intronuvo has it checked off his stick. They'll have to regroup at center right. Here's Lindros now, one-on-one with Tiley. Lindros tried to pull it through his legs, and Tiley does a nice job of staying with his man. But Eric Lindros has had 2 quick breaks here with his team short-handed. Adam Foote with the shot. Fountain turns it away easily. Now in the corner, here's Basillo. To the point to Foote, to Tiley at the point. Tiley with a quick shot. Fountain didn't get all of it, but he saw just enough to deflect the puck into the crowd as Mike Fountain was screened in front.
Well, Gordon, if I was on a hockey team and I was down facing elimination, there's no player in Canada I'd rather have on my team than number 88, Eric Lindros. Here, short-handed goes in, makes a good effort to dive and deflect the shot. Good defensive work, first by Foote and then by Tiley. Playing the man. Does a good job getting his hip in under Lindros. Lindros tried to go around him, and the puck just slid harmlessly to Lenarduzzi. But if Eric Lindros has a big game, it goes a long way towards helping the Oshawa Generals stay in this series.
And last year, when the Oshawa Generals came back from 3-1 down in their series against Kitchener, it was Lindros who led them back. Here's a quick break now for Matt Hoffman. Hoffman has the puck checked off his stick. 15 seconds left in the power play. One more chance for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Sean Imber shoots it in, and Fountain stops it behind the goal. And the Generals get away, and they will kill off the first penalty against them. Matt Hoffman across the line. Hoffman, quick shot. It goes just wide. Craigwell now. He's checked along the boards, and here comes Sean Imber. Imber for Jason Denemy. He loses control of the puck, and they'll have to regroup once again. Much stronger defensive effort so far by the Oshawa Generals. Offside is the call at the line. And we've got our first incident of pushing and shoving, but nothing major.
Tony Yobb's been a key man for the Soo Greyhounds since coming over on the trade deadline in January from the Kingston Frontenac. A big, strong guy who gets in front of the net. He's one of the real explosive players on the Sault Ste. Marie team. They don't have a game breaker, but he's very physical, and he also has a great touch around the net. It was their leading scorer if you count total goals scored in Kingston and Sault Ste. Marie this year.
Yob averaged 4 penalty minutes a game with Kingston. He's played a lot more disciplined hockey with Sault Ste. Marie. He's got it down to about 2 minutes a game, but he still likes to play it rough. Kiley's pass at center ice is too far for Denny Lambert, and Wade Simpson is back to get it for Oshawa. Scott Hollis now trying to clear it ahead, but the Greyhounds forecheck and managed to keep it in. Here's Piley now. Greyhounds clear the zone, and back they come after it. Big Wade Simpson. You'll see a lot of ice time tonight. There's it carelessly off the board. Jarrett Reid in front for Matsos. He can't get a stick on it. Dangerous chance there for the Greyhounds. Oshawa breaks back now. Scott Hollis shoots it in. Here's Big Deasley in the corner. Deasley can't get the shot away. It was blocked in front. Eddie Lambert now. Here's Jarrett Reid streaking down the right side and all alone. Backhand and big save by Mike Fountain as Jarrett Reid streaked down the right side and Fountain stoned it. Brian Gowdy shoots it in, and we've got a penalty coming. It's against the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. O'Hagan clears it in. Here's Pearson in the corner after it. Pearson now can't get it ahead. Puck is touched by Tiley, and the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds have taken their first penalty of the hockey game as the Oshawa Generals are set to go on the power play.
Big save by Mike Fountain. Jarrett Reid, a speedster from Sault Ste. Marie, their first-round pick. Just a little guy, but oh so fast. Just blows around the defense. Wade Simpson, and pulls a good move on Fountain. Fountain stayed with him all the way across, does the splits, and I mean the splits. Mike Fountain comes up with a big save on little Jarrett Reid.
Well, the Oshawa Generals have had some success on the power play in this series. They'll get a chance here as the penalty goes to David Matsos, and it comes at 14:46 remaining in this first period. Matsos goes off for slashing, and that's something that Ted Nolan talked about before this game, that they've played such a disciplined brand of hockey, and they haven't spent so much time in the penalty box.
Well, we'll tell right away whether the Oshawa power play is clicking or not. It depends how well they move the puck. If they're moving that puck really well, you know it's a good power play.
Lindros has Pearson and Craig all over with him. Here's Lindros, quick shot, he scores! Eric Lindros from the side of the net, and the Generals lead 1-0. Some pushing and shoving at center ice. Lindros got involved there with Jason Denemy, who objected, I guess, to a celebration. There's a lot of debris on the ice now. These fans in Oshawa ecstatic that their team leads 1-0.
Lindros does a good job in front of the net, but watch it off the faceoff. The puck gets tied up for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds behind the net. They're able to clear it around. They've got control of it. Good forechecking by Pearson. Manages to get that, fish that puck out. I'm not sure quite how that came off the boards, but Lindros standing right there. You'll see the good forechecking on Tiley, and then you'll see Craigwell just flip it. And at that point, looked like Craigwell with a one-handed pass with two players in between him managed to put it out in front to Eric Lindros. Lindros came back to the center ice for what has become something of a traditional celebration. He and Robbie Pearson have a little routine down pat after every goal. Denemy obviously took offense to it and bumped into him. There was almost trouble at center ice.
The 18th goal of the playoffs for Eric Lindros is his 11th power play goal of the postseason. A penalty to the Soo Greyhounds cost them early, and the Generals take a 1-0 lead, and they're still clearing the debris off the ice here. You know, Oshawa General fans came here primed. They saw those two games in Sault Ste. Marie, and they saw reports of what happened there. The fans riding Lindros pretty hard. There's a lot of banners in this building, and there's a lot of electricity here. Fans obviously hoping their club can force a 7th game in this series.
There's also a lot of balloons out there, and I'm not sure whether we want to talk about the balloon or the bubble bursting at this point, but certainly a good start for the Oshawa Generals. But Oshawa has to be so careful. They've had so many good shifts in this series, but no good games to this point. They've had a 5-1 lead, and they lost 6-5 in overtime. They had a 5-1 lead at home and lost 5 and won 5-4. We're lucky to hang on. Consistency of effort is the main thing to get here. And right now, Lindros is out there ready to draw double duty with a line of B.J. McPherson and Jan Benda.
Lindros wins the drawback for Burgess. Generals lead it now 1-0. Don't forget, though, they blew a 5-1 lead in Game 3 of the series. One of the reasons they're down 3-1 in the series. Tony Yob has the puck taken off his stick. And we've got another whistle on the play. More pushing and shoving there as
John Benda and Tony Yob got into it down in the corner. Yob came in with a bit of a hit after the whistle, or right at the whistle. You'll see Benda and Yob mixing it up. Watch Yob come back at him here, and Benda puts him down.
John Benda, a native of Essen, Germany, 6'1", 205, so he can play physically if he likes. Eric Lindros is going off, and that appears to be the only penalty. Lindros is the most penalized player in this series. He knows where the penalty box is, and he's there once again.
Lindros came in and just took Bugner, the captain, into the boards here. Gave him the big hit, got the stick up. And at that point, I didn't look and see whether Van Massenhoven had his arm in the air for a penalty or whether Lindros picked that up for something after the Yob-Benda confrontation. Either way, he's off for 2 minutes.
Jason Denemy has also gone off for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, so it's coincidental minors. They'll play 4-on-4, lots of room out there. The Generals send out Matt Hoffman along with Scott Hollis up front. Greyhounds counter with Ralph Intranuvo and Joe Basillo. Here's Basillo now. He can't control it in front. He shoved off the puck by Hollis. Another penalty coming to the Oshawa Generals. It'll be roughing. And so the Greyhounds will get their second power play opportunity. It's 1-0 Oshawa on CHL Sunday night, live on TSN.
It's time to come into your neighborhood Tim Hortons and order that special treat just for Mom. A freshly baked Mother's Day cake.
Always got time for Tim Hortons. Don't want to know round the clock ready, round the clock ready. Always got time for Tim Hortons.
For Mother's Day.
Scott Hollis off for roughing at 5:52. A one-on-one defensive play with Joe Basillo. He takes his fist and jams it into Basillo's shoulder. Van Massenhoven about 2 feet away immediately puts the arm up.
So Rick Kornacki, his team finds itself shorthanded. It'll be a 4-on-3 situation for Sault Ste. Marie. Colin Miller gets the draw back to Brad Tiley. Lots of room to set up. Cross ice to Yob to Tiley. To Yob, and right to the face-off circle. Quick shot stopped by Mike Fountain. Nobody in front, and Mike Fountain pounces on the rebound.
Coach Rick Kornacki said he had a hunch about Fountain tonight that he might go out and stone his old teammates. He's been doing a good job so far. Yob comes in right to the dot. One of the most dangerous spots on the ice, especially on a power play. Mike Fountain, a stand-up goaltender, right up there, went down on both pads, not sprawling all over the place. And that's how you can tell when he's effective. He's not flopping around like a fish. Stand-up netminder.
6 goals in the series so far for Tony Yob, who's been a big factor in Sault Ste. Marie taking the 3-1 lead. He stays out there along with Colin Miller. And to take the draw is Craigwell for Oshawa. Miller wins it back to the point. Here's Adam Foote. Foote winds up and shoots, deflected in front. It goes just wide. In the corner now, Colin Miller to Adam Foote. Cross ice, it goes to Colin Miller. Working it around well, but still not getting a shot. Here's Tiley now. The Foote, big shot, hit the goal post. Rebound, Miller saved by Fountain. He stuck the pad out and stopped Colin Miller after that first shot from Adam Foote hit the goal post. O'Hagan now whizzes it off the glass. And the Greyhounds will have to start again. Winding up now is Brad Tiley. Looking for Colin Miller. Back to Tiley. Tiley moves in. Gets around Kravitz now behind the net. Walks right in front. Decides to go to Adam Foote at the blue line. He manages to keep it in. Here's Adam Foote. Over to Tiley in front. Trying to get the backhand shot away, but it was taken off his stick. Foote, quick shot. Another pad saved by Mike Fountain, and he clears it to the corner. Tony Yob now. Yob works it behind the net. Nobody in front. Goes back to the point to Tiley. To Foote. He winds up and shoots. But off Hoffman's stick and wide. Puck is scooped up by Brian Grieve and clear.
Tiley and Foote, it's like a shooting gallery back there. Both defensemen excellent on the power play. Just driving those shots at Mike Fountain. He's holding his ground.
Adam Foote now with a head of steam across the line. He gets around Grieve. Can't get the shot away. Here's Foote now back in front. His pass is tipped away. Fountain tries to fall on it. Can't control it. Foote now up against Lindros. He gives him the cross check. Lindros winds up, goes behind the net. and once again clears the zone. The power play is over, and the Oshawa Generals have weathered another storm. 12 minutes left in the first period. Jarrett Reid banged behind the net by Lindros. Loose puck in front. Generals can't control it. Sault Ste. Marie breaks away. Sean Imber across the line. He's got Denny Lambert right in front. Shoots it just over the net. David Matsos had Mike Fountain down and out, but couldn't put it in the top shelf. Here's Lindros now. Great pace for this hockey game. Lindros has got Rob Pearson with him. Lindros winds up. Big save there by Mike Lenarduzzi as Lindros leaned into that one, and Lenarduzzi made the pad save.
Mike Fountain took his turn at one end. Lenarduzzi comes back, makes a good save on a very fired-up Eric Lindros. I don't recall seeing him so fired up since maybe game 2 or 3 of the Ottawa series. Some great chances down at the other end with Mike Fountain. Here the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds come in, perfectly executed 3-on-2. And as Matsos puts it up way over the net, Fountain slides across, coming back the other way. Something Lindros maybe doesn't do enough of, and that's fired hard. He's got a great shot. Lenarduzzi has to cut down the angle and holds on. No rebounds. Looking to see if it trickles behind him.
We mentioned before that Eric Lindros has an idol in the NHL. It's Mark Messier. When the Edmonton Oilers are in trouble, they look to Messier. And when the Oshawa Generals are in trouble, you know who they look to. And Lindros said to me before this game that he felt a lot of pressure to perform and perform well in this game. Craigwell wins the draw to Lewick. Here's Craigwell now behind the net. Checked off his stick. The Greyhounds now have Sean Imber. He gets up to Busilla now. Generals can't keep it in. Dale Craigwell operating at center ice. Looking for Lewick. His pass is too far. Bob Bugner, the captain, behind Imber. Imber takes a big hit there, and he'll come away with it again. Lots of great checks here so far. Internuvo now. Across the line. Shot and a save by Fountain. And he gets it over to Craven. To Scott Lewick. To Jason Weaver. He's got Lewick with him and Craigwell. Lewick now fighting forward with Kiley. Kiley takes a big hit from Weaver. Generals content to clear it down. And icing is the call against the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Let's go downstairs to report with Peter Watts.
All right, guys, it's interesting to look at some of the numbers in this series and the players involved in the big trade last year. Eric Lindros with 17 goals and 18 assists in the OHL playoffs coming into this game, 35 points. The 5 players who played for the Sault Ste. Marie team, of course, including Mike Lenarduzzi, also have 35 points, led by Mike Dekoff. And in the series, Lindros with 8 points, and the other players with a total of 15. So it is a trade that has worked out very well for both teams.
You know, people said before this series that 88 would be leading it. You'd believe them, but of course it's not Eric Lindros leading the score. It's Colin Miller. And Robbie Pearson has a few things to say to the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Here's Tony Yob now, forechecking for Sault Ste. Marie. Lindros comes away with it now. He's got Pearson with him. Lindros dropped for Pearson. He shoots. Quick glove save there by Mike Lenarduzzi. And more pushing and shoving in front of the net.
A good drop pass by Eric Lindros over to Rob Pearson, his stablemate. And this has been a tandem that's done so much for this team this year. And Rob Pearson is the guy that's got to get it going. He fires a shot that was deflected. Lenarduzzi got the hand up to make a very good save. We saw Pearson on the bench yapping with Denny Lambert, the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. He was talking a good game on the bench, and now it's up to him to come out and try to generate some offense here.
Lindros steps in to take the draw for the Oshawa Generals against his opposite number, Colin Miller. We mentioned earlier it's number 88 leading the scoring in this series, but it is Colin Miller, and he wins the draw to Adam Foote. Foote in the corner now. Lead pass for Miller. He was looking for Yob, but it's too far. Now Yob in the corner behind the net, checked there by Burgess. Yob tries to center from, they score! Yob got it right in front. And the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, thanks to the goal by Rick Kowalski, have tied the game at 1.
Rick Kowalski does a good job of knocking this puck out of the air right between the legs of Mike Fountain. Good job of following up the play. You see them here, it's a 2-on-2. You'll see Eric Lindros doesn't pick up 12. And he comes back to haunt him here. Lindros in front of the net. And the puck comes back out. And Kowalski just cruises free. managed to go in.
A nice effort by Yob here. The initial pass was too far for him. He hustled after it. The puck bounced right in front to Kowalski, and this game is tied. The fourth of the playoffs for Rick Kowalski comes at almost exactly the midway point of the period, and the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds are right back in it. Here's Sean Imber now. Back clear in a set. We'll see a lot more of that after a work there. Good forechecking by the Greyhounds. Hollis can't get it out. Imber with the shot. Gets into the corner by Fountain. Now here's Diesel. Diesel's pass is too high for Hollis, and Imber has to run back and get it. Sean Imber behind his own goal. His team now tied at 1. They've outshot the Generals 10-4. Quick giveaway in front. Beasley almost got a shot away. Paulo Hagen back to get it for the Oshawa Generals. He's got Denny Lambert on him. Hagen comes away with it. Ahead for Claire Corner. Corner along with Diesel. Big hit there. Denny Lambert drilled Claire Corner. Lambert's long pass now. Looking for David Matzo. Matzo's banging in the corner. Now here's Krejevich. Gets to the line but not out. Quick shot there by Gowdy. Gloved by Fountain, but he can't control it. Loose puck in front. Beasley fighting for it. Finally coming away with it is Scott Lewis. Lewis pass hits escape, and finally the Generals clear it out at the end of a long shift. The Generals with some good pressure. Brad Tiley across the line now. With Fusilli with him. The shot by Tiley deflects high and into the crowd.
Well, some big hits out there so far, Gord. Denny Lambert laid a pasting on Claire Cornish. Cornish did the Wayne Gretzky play where you cross the blue line and cut into the middle. And in this case, you watch him step across the blue line, and Lambert, number 27, just comes right across the middle and lets him have it. Lambert is last year's OHL penalty minute leader. Came back this year. They wanted him to be a little more sensible, not take so many bad penalties and be more disciplined. He has done that. He had a very effective member of this team playing on the left wing with Jarrett Reid and David Matzo.
More pushing and shoving now right off the face-off as Jan Benda was getting into it. Craigwell gets the draw to Wade Simpson. Here's David Craven. Looks for Craigwell, can escape. Craigwell across the line now. Trying to go wide on Imber. Here's Craigwell behind the goal. Looking in front for Lewis. Craigwell hangs on to it. Here's Lewis behind the net now. Kravich sneaking in. Quick shot. Hit escape. David Kravich sneaking in dangerously from the blue line. Got the pass, but his shot deflected into the crowd.
Kravich had a great series against the Ottawa 67s to get to this series against Sault Ste. Marie. He was playing very well because he had to, because Captain Paul O'Hagan was out with suspension. The entire Oshawa defense has been very suspect in this series. And in that instance, Kravich did a good job of jumping in from the point, getting the shot that bounced off somebody's ankle and went up into the crowd.
No point to the series so far for Kravich, and that's been part of the problem for the Oshawa Generals. Internuvo gets the draw away from Craigwell, and it's controlled by Tyler. Brad Tyler behind his own goal now. Bugner to Basillo. Basillo gets it ahead to Internuvo, but he can't control it. It's picked up by Lewis, but here come the Greyhounds now across the line. Ducat for Internuvo, trying to get the return pass, but it's tipped away by Fountain. Another dangerous chance in front for the Greyhounds. Here's Lewis. Generals trying to set it up here. Look for Kravich. Pass too far for him. Picked up by Tyler. Tyler into the center ice area. Intercepted there, and the Generals clear it in. Bad Tyler with some room to move. Tyler shoots it in off the glass. Fountain falls on it as he had Internuvo right on top of him. The Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds have tied it. It's 1-1 in the first.
Once Canadians reach a certain age, they become adults, and so they behave in a mature fashion. Cultivating friendships, learning proper etiquette, and expanding their horizons. Molson Canadian, with beers all about.
Gary and
invited to be with us for the 1991 Memorial Cup. Every game in the round robin, the semifinals, and the championship finale on the 19th of May. Live on TSN. Paul Romanuk will be back from Europe, and he and Gord Miller and Bob McKenzie will be your hosts next weekend.
And who will it be from the Ontario Hockey League? The Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds or the Oshawa Generals? You should have a pretty good idea after tonight's game. Here's Lindros in the corner. Big Eric Lindros. They tried to line him up at center ice, but he walked right around Tony Yav. Here's Hoffman in the corner now. Hoffman looking in front for Lindros, and he was checked off the puck. Pearson now centers it. Quick shot by Davis, blocked in front. Tony Yav comes away with it for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Yav across the line. He's got Miller with him. Miller hammered by Hoffman. Gets away with it, though. Here's Miller. Right in front, the Foote shoots just wide. Adam Foote streaked into the blue line, but put it just wide. Davis now fighting for it in the corner with Colin Miller. Here's Robbie Pearson. Pearson checked by Foote. The linesman got in the way there and took the worst of it. Now Yav stepped into Hoffman, who gave him a little shot back. O'Hagan to Lindros. Lindros across the line. Drop pass for Pearson. Pearson into the slot. Loses control. Davis to Pearson. Right in, he scores! Robbie Pearson, what a goal for Oshawa! Robbie Pearson puts the Generals back on top with a beautiful goal in front, taking the feed from J.P. Davis.
9 times out of 10, Rob Pearson will shoot the puck in this situation. We just saw the 1 out of 10, and he made it count. Good drop pass by Lindros, and a give and go here, almost accidentally. To J.P. Davis puts it back on the stick of Robbie Pearson. Leonarduzzi was definitely looking shot. He was way out to cut down the angle. And there's the traditional celebration by Rob Pearson. Skates by the vanquished. Just watch Pearson. Normally, he'll put that up high on the glove side, and I'm sure that's what Leonarduzzi was looking to do. Instead, he went to his backhand, flipped it in, and the ice is being deluged with balloons once again.
There's a celebration for the 15th goal of the playoffs for Rob Pearson, and it's 2-1 in favor of the Oshawa Generals. The Generals have shown a lot of fire here so far, Bob, and that was the criticism of them early in the series. They didn't seem that inspired.
Well, they played some good chips, but not a good game. So far, they're playing a good game. Remains to be seen how things go as we go along here, but it's really key for Rob Pearson to get going. Everybody watches the game and says, well, what did Eric Lindros do? Much of what Eric Lindros will do will depend on how he can feed off Rob Pearson. And these two guys work so well together when they're on their game. If Pearson's off, it means it's that much more difficult for Lindros to do anything. And these two guys and these two guys alone on any given night can kill you.
The Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds blanked Rob Pearson in Game 2 of the series. It was the first time that it happened to him as an Oshawa General. You see some of the banner wars going on. Of course, there were plenty of them in Sault Ste. Marie. Ted Nolan and company looked on as there was diapers and soothers chiding Eric Lindros for being a baby. But tonight there's signs like, put the hounds in the pound. What a tandem for the Oshawa Generals.
Well, Coach Rick Warnacki has told his team, listen, I don't think we're going to lose tonight. I know we're not going to lose tonight. But let's go out and see we're facing elimination, and let's make sure that in the event that if we do lose, let's make sure we have a good game and that we really give the fans a show. And so far, that's certainly been the case. They've got a 2-1 lead at this point.
Lindros and Pearson have 2 points apiece. Ted Nolan knew his team would be in tough in this game. The defending champions aren't likely to give up quickly, but patience has been the watchword for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, and I'm sure it will be here as well.
Staying on Sault Ste. Marie is hard work as their 50-goal scorer. Their top goal scorer, Yob, this year, 38 goals.
Jarrett Reid steps in for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Didn't take the draw for Oshawa. It's B.J. McPherson, the 4th line out there now for Oshawa. Trevor Burgess with it. Looking for Jan Benda off his shoulder, and offside is the call.
B.J. McPherson, a guy who hasn't got a lot of ice time this year. He is an OHL rookie. With the offensive firepower that the Generals have, he hasn't played that much, but he's going to be a good one in the OHL. Not eligible for the NHL draft until 1992. He's a real tough kid that looks like he might develop a touch in junior hockey.
And, of course, there is always next year for the Oshawa Generals, the period after Eric, they're calling it. And B.J. McPherson, one of the young men that will be counted upon to keep this team in contention. Brad Piley has it now. Greyhounds looking to tie it up again. In for Denny Lambert. Checked off his stick. Here's Jan Benda to McPherson. McPherson takes a bunt from Gowdy, but picked up by Benda. He, too, is hit by Matzo. Benda centers it. Just a bit too far for Cox. Quick shot to the point. Goes just wide. Fans hollering for a penalty, but they won't get it. And the puck is cleared by Lambert into the rafters. Fans thought there might have been a high stick there in the corner, but they don't get the call from referee Don Van Massenhoven.
Well, Sioux defenseman Tiley's cruised through the slot and put down number 25, Mike Weaver. You see him come across there, and you'll see Weaver go down. Tiley really giving him the business. Van Massenhoven saw the whole thing but didn't call anything. And the fans here giving him the business.
There's Jarrett Reid. Pardon me, that's Sean Imber. Imber steps in now as the Oshawa Generals have Claire Cornish, Scott Hollis, and Mark Beasley out there. Beasley, the big man, look to get in front. Kravitz now, quick shot. Hit Beasley's feet and went just wide. Imber picks it up. Imber in the corner battling for it. And here's Sean Imber. Gets ahead to Basillo. Basillo to Intranuvo. He was looking for DeKoff. DeKoff has a man a hold of him, and DeKoff still managed to get a shot away. Even though Mark Beasley was all over him, DeKoff still managed to get a shot away. Good effort by Mike DeKoff.
Well, the fans aren't saying too much now. Well, they shouldn't, because there's no question there. Beasley had the caller all over DeKoff as he went to the net. Probably should have been a call on the play. But Van Massenhoven didn't call it. These fans aren't going to argue with that.
Joe Basillo is one of the 5 players the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds got in the Eric Lindros deal. And it was tough for him to leave the Oshawa Generals. He was very close to Eric Lindros. The two went to school together every day, and he was saying he talked to Lindros before the series, but he hasn't talked to him since it started. As far as he's concerned, the friendship is on hold until this series is over.
He was a big performer for them in last year's Memorial Cup, playing on a line with Dale Craigwell, Corey Banica. That was the 3rd line last year. They did a lot of damage at Memorial Cup to help the Oshawa Generals win it.
Craigwell steps in for the Generals against Intranuvo. Intranuvo got it back, but it's picked up there by Weaver. He's brought down. No penalty there either. Cleared into the General zone. Here is Kravitz for Scott Lewick. Lewick, long lead pass for Jason Weaver. Weaver down the left side. Looking in front for Lewick. But he waited a little too long. Now he gets into trouble as he's got 3 Greyhounds on him. Jason Weaver, neatly to Lewick. Back to the point to Kravitz. Shoots, blocked in front, rebound. And Mike Lenarduzzi falls on it as the Generals were right on top of it.
Lenarduzzi did a great job of sprawling to cover open net. He made the first save. I think he made a second save, and the rebound drifted off to the side. The Generals were trying to reach around him. Jason Weaver comes out of the corner with this puck. Makes a good move on Bugner to feed it in, and you'll see Lewick. Thought Lewick might have tried to wrap around there, but puts it back to Kravitz, who waits. And watch this puck. There's one save, and the second shot is fanned on, and then finally, Lenarduzzi slides over.
Lenarduzzi, a 3rd-round selection of the Hartford Whalers. And he's a guy who has pro aspirations, as is this young man, Jason Weaver. He had a great chance there, but Lenarduzzi came across. What a great save there. That kept him right in the game.
Weaver, a 1st-round pick of the Oshawa Generals in his rookie OHL season.
Lindros steps in against Miller. Pearson trying for it, but he's tied up, and here's Davis now to Lindros behind the net. Lindros centers. Pearson had a shot at it. They thought they'd scored, but the shot went just wide. Now here's a break for Sault Ste. Marie. Adam Foote across the line. 2-on-1 to Foote. Oh, and Tony Yob is robbed by Mike Fountain as Adam Foote got it in front of him. Nice save there by Mike Fountain, and now some more pushing and shoving in front as the Generals object to a shot taken of Mike Fountain after he had gloved the puck. But a nice save by Fountain on the 2-on-1.
Adam Foote and Tony Yob combine on a 2-on-1. Foote does a good job of giving it to Yob. Yob right in alone on top of Fountain. But this whole play was made possible when number 6 for the Generals, Rob Pearson, tried to keep it in at the blue line, lost control of it, and there's Foote, a defenseman, just burst up into the play. Up against Paul O'Hagan, the one man. Foote does a great job of bringing O'Hagan over, throwing it back out to Yob, and boy, quick reaction time by Mike Fountain, who was following the man with the puck foot, and then had to swing right across the net and not overplay it. Goaltenders will sometimes slide too far. In this case, Yob, right in on top, and Fountain. A good stand-up goaltender, and right as he carried this along, just after the whistle, Eric Lindros comes in and really gives it to number 10, Jason Denemy. You'll see him here put the big collar on him and put his head down. We've got penalties on the play. Lindros in the penalty box. Tony Yob offsetting minors.
So Lindros gets his second stretch in the penalty box, continuing his tradition of being the most penalized player during the regular season for Oshawa, and in this series, Yob goes off as well.
It's only the second player, Lindros is, in Ontario Hockey League history to have more penalty minutes than points and win the scoring championship. The other was Derek Sanderson with the Niagara Falls Flyers back in the 60s.
Here's Adam Foote at the line. Quick shot, glove by Fountain. Adam Foote's not afraid to tee it up from the blue line. He's had several good scoring opportunities in the hockey game so far.
He's a native of Whitby, Ontario, just right next door to the Oshawa, city of Oshawa. And Foote has been playing inspired hockey all the way through. Defensively, he's making every Oshawa General pay as they come across the blue line. Offensively, constantly jumping into the play. The Quebec Nordiques have a very good young defenseman here. We talked about maybe Lindros going to Quebec City for Memorial Cup and the excitement. I'm sure Adam Foote won't generate the same kind of excitement as Lindros if Sault Ste. Marie makes it. But there's no question this guy will be playing on the Quebec Nordique defense in the near future. Second-round pick in '89.
Jarrett Reid steps in, but Craigwell gets the draw. Generals break away. Paul O'Hagan next. O'Hagan waits, and his teammates were going on a line change. Here's Adam Foote now. Foote circle. Gets it to Tyler. Ahead for Denny Lambert. His pass is too far. The Generals break away. Robbie Pearson has it taken away by Foote. Foote across the line, shoots, and the save is made by Fountain. Another quick chance there for Adam Foote. O'Hagan now, the captain, suspended for 7 games earlier in the playoffs. Here's Davis now. Got Lewick with him. Here's a shot by O'Hagan from the line. Tipped and goes to the corner. Here's Kiley. Kiley takes a bump from Hoffman. Around the other side to Jarrett Reid. He takes a bump. Reid comes away with it. Stolen by Hoffman to Lewick. Shot hit a skate and went the other way, but Leonard Doozy was there to cover it. Tyler to Reid. Jarrett Reid now, trying to get around Davis. Behind the net. Reid leaves it there for Lambert. He couldn't get the shot away. He's checked by Craigwell in the corner. Craigwell gives away a lot inside, but he's not afraid to get in there. Gives him another shot. Top action in the corners. Here's Craigwell. Gets it over for O'Hagan. And O'Hagan clears it out. Bogner back to get it for Sault Ste. Marie. Here's Foote. Then Green is back to battle for it with Basillo. Two former teammates fighting for it. It's O'Hagan who comes away with it. For Scott Hollis, the pass is too far. Bob Bugner back for Sault Ste. Marie. The captain of these Greyhounds to Joe Basillo. Basillo with the lead pass. Quick shot by Introdulo goes just wide. Fire Cornish now can't control it, picked up by the Greyhounds. 2:45 left in the period. Here's Introdulo across the line. Tees it up. Pass saved by Fountain. Introdulo gets it back. Looks to the other side to Yob. Yob along the boards got tied up with the referee, and it's picked up by Claire Cornish. Cornish cleared it up, it bounced up, and Mike Fountain gloved it right over his own goal.
Looked like Cornish took a shot on his own net. Fountain had to be very alert there, although I suspect the puck was going into the back of the mesh, but nevertheless, bad clearing attempt. And we saw there the Oshawa Generals making life a little bit miserable for their goaltender. They've had all sorts of problems in their own end here. Here's Cornish being forechecked by Yob and Intronuvo. And the puck flipped around there. Fountain stole that puck. Fountain in tonight because Freddie Brathwaite is not. Freddie Brathwaite on the bench. Some speculation that Fred Brathwaite is hurt. Rick Kornacki says there's nothing to it. He says he doesn't know where the media gets all these reports that Brathwaite may be hurt. He says if there's any reason that Fountain has to come out of the game, there's no question Brathwaite can go in at 100%. Yet everybody is speculating that he might have a knee or a groin fall, and that's the reason he's not playing in tonight's game.
Asked Brathwaite before the game if he was 100%. He said he sure thought so. 2:30 left in the first period. Oshawa Generals trying to save off elimination. Lead it 2-1. Lindros steps in against Intronuvo. Lindros gets the draw. Back to Trevor Burgess. Back to the line. Another shot tipped high. Bob Bugner teed it up and fired it into these rather low rafters of the Oshawa Civic Auditorium.
Captain Bob Bugner, a 3-year man for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, a second-round pick of the Detroit Red Wings, and he is the heart and soul of this hockey team. Maybe not as highly skilled as Adam Foote on defense, but he and Joe Bastillo are the two guys the Greyhounds count on to get them pumped up and motivated.
They're looking to tie it up before the intermission here. Fountain stops it behind the goal. Digging him up behind the net is Reid. Not before he got it away. And they get it ahead. Here comes Benda. Benda trying to ground, and his man is hip-checked neatly. B.J. McPherson couldn't control it. The Greyhounds pull away. Here's Intronuvo getting around Grieve. Intronuvo in front, can't get the shot away. Grieve came back to check it off his stick, and Grieve collided into the net and looks to be a bit shaken up.
Intronuvo creates so many scoring opportunities with his speed. He might just be the fastest player in the Ontario Hockey League, and there's been 2 occasions tonight where he's beat the Greyhounds wide to the outside. He gets the pass here from Dekoff, trying to break around Grieve. Grieve slides, manages to get a stick on the puck a little bit and cause it to go off Intronuvo's stick, and Grieve went into the net. Intronuvo, an exciting player. Fans in Sault Ste. Marie just love him. He sports an Italian heritage, and Sault Ste. Marie with a heavily Italian population, they've really taken this kid to heart.
Intronuvo, you see, time for the team lead in playoff scoring. He's been a big part of the Sault Ste. Marie team, which scored 2 series sweeps to start the playoffs and now leads this series 3-1 as Colin Miller steps in against Dale Craigwell. Craigwell gets the draw, back for Craven. Now Miller fighting forward along the boards. Comes up with it behind the net to Yob. Yob looking for someone at center ice. There was nobody there. Lewick gets it up along the boards. Kept in at the line. The Generals are running around a bit. Here's Wayne Simpson for Deasley. Up ahead for Craigwell. The pass is too far and is picked up by Adam Foote. He's got Craigwell on him. Foote trying to get away as Craigwell dogs him every step of the way. Craigwell now runs over into the boards. There'll be a penalty on the play to the Oshawa Generals. Dale Craigwell will be going off as the referee, Don Van Massenhoven, calls Dale Craigwell for hitting from behind.
And that injury to insult, Craigwell is limping off the ice with a very sore leg. Took the worst of that collision with Adam Foote. Although Marapsky didn't. Adam Foote down on the ice. Adam Foote pulled a very quick reverse in his corner. Craigwell was bearing down on top of him. And Foote, as he turned right around, Craigwell ran right into the back of him. Here's Foote coming around, and watch him here. That's a very difficult one. You've got to call it because the Ontario Hockey League is cracking down on that. At the same time, the defenseman Foote completely reversed his direction and created the situation for it to happen. Nevertheless, in that situation, the player, no matter what, has to pull up a little bit because it can be a very dangerous situation going head first into the boards.
Adam Foote gets up. He's a little shaken up, but he appears to be all right. Certainly good news for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. They'll go on the power play with 1:18 left in the first period. They've outshot the Generals 16-7, but they trail 2-1.
And Dale Craigwell just left the penalty box going off for medical attention. He's limping off very badly. If Craigwell was to go into this game right now, it'd be a very bad blow for the Oshawa Generals. He's been playing his most inspired hockey tonight. This is the best game I've seen Dale Craigwell play in a long time. Granted, it is only in the first period, but they don't want to be without him, their number 2 center.
Colin Miller out there at center on the power play. He's got Yob along with him and Jarrett Reid up front. Miller clears it in. Back to get it is O'Hagan for the Generals. And he's content to clear it down the ice. 20% for the Greyhounds on the power play. Tyler gets it ahead for Bugner. Intercepted by Davis. Davis has got Hoffman with him. Here's Matt Hoffman. Backhand to Davis. And I don't know if Leonard Ducey got a piece of it or the shot went just wide, but it was a dangerous chance for the Generals. We'll have another penalty. It'll be interference, and this time it's going to the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Bob Bugner will be going off, and that'll do it for the power play.
Bob Bugner fell on top of J.P. Davis as Davis was trying to get back into it. Davis sets up Matt Hoffman with a nice play. Hoffman, a lot of people might have thought he was going to shot there, makes a nice pass back to Davis, but Davis being checked by 2 players, coming back and a little too far past the net. 51 seconds left in this period. It's all even up now. As you see Craigwell going off the ice to the Oshawa General dressing room, limping very badly. And Bob Bugner, the captain, the pause that refreshes.
So that'll nullify the man advantage for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, and Oshawa will have a 27-second power play early in the second period. Lindros is out there now for the Generals. He's got Davis, Hollis, and O'Hagan with him. Internuvo in for Sault Ste. Marie. Lindros likes this offsetting rule. He likes 4-on-4. A lot of room for him out there, and he takes up plenty of it. At the line, here's Davis walking in on the backhand in front. Lindros couldn't get his stick on it as Adam Foote had him tied up. There's a shot by Hollis, dribbles dangerously in front. Fusillo pulls away now for Sault Ste. Marie. Fusillo trying around O'Hagan. Two former teammates meet at the blue line. And the Generals come away. Davis for Hollis. Back to Lindros. Quick shot deflects wide. Foote has Lindros tied up. And ahead it goes to Internuvo. Two men back for the Generals. Internuvo across the line. He's got Foote with him. Take that Tiley and make that deck big. Brad Tiley got decked at the blue line. Lindros for Davis. If the return pass hits the skate, here's Tyler. Intercepted by Lindros. He winds up. And his shot deflects high. 4 big hits here in the first period.
Foote and Lindros have had a thing going this whole series. For a couple of good opportunities. J.P. Davis, one of the defensemen who's probably playing as poor as any Oshawa defenseman in this series, comes up first with a big hit on Brad Tiley, a classic hip check, and then comes right back down the other ice. Generates a couple of good offensive scoring opportunities. J.P. Davis playing much better in this game than he has in any in the series. It's been a mystery to me early in this series why he played as poorly as he did, but it was a collective thing with the Oshawa defense, and certainly on the first period tonight, they appear to be much more fired up and doing a much better job in their own end as well as jumping into the play.
Lindros continues to have words with Adam Foote as that little skirmish continues throughout this series.
I don't think Lindros and Foote like each other too much. Certainly, they've really been going at it in this series. There's been a lot of bitter battles between all the players, but none more bitter than that one.
Lindros leaves the ice as time expires in the first period of play, and the Oshawa Generals get goals from Eric Lindros and Rob Pearson and lead it 2-1.
A good period for the Oshawa Generals. They wanted to come out. They want to establish themselves. They played pretty physical. They've got a 2-1 lead. They know that's not safe, but it's certainly better than being down and playing as poorly as they have in some of their games so far.
Our first intermission is coming up, and with a preview, here is Peter Watt.
Thank you, Gord. Eric Lindros went back to Sault Ste. Marie on Thursday, and the Spokane Chiefs are on their way to the Memorial Cup this week. Those were the two big stories in junior hockey over the last few days, and we'll look at both of them here at our first intermission. After 20 minutes of play in a game the Oshawa Generals must win, it's the Generals 2 and the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds 1.
Remember, about the cap, back.
It's a part of life almost taken for granted. People know Canadian Tire will have the top brand and the low prices. When you think about it, nobody addresses Canada's needs so completely as the more than 400 addresses of Canadian Tire. Giving you the time to turn that raw talent into tomorrow's pro. You know, son, the goalies are the real stars of this game.
We are capturing this magnificent bald eagle in his natural habitat with the zoom lens of the Sony TR Series Handycam. You can see for yourself the crisp, clear broadcast quality once achieved only by professional cameras. If you want your pictures to look this good, shoot them with the Sony TR Series Handycam. Take it from Sony. It has what it takes to take great pictures.
It's one of the most technologically advanced, rigorously tested fluids on Earth. It is today's Quaker State. At Quaker State, we don't just say we're tough, we're tested tough. The big Q is one tough motor oil.
Come out of the wet into a world that's more than dry. It's extra dry. Arid extra dry. Antiperspirant for men.
gets into the record books now in Game 5, and the Generals hold a 2-1 lead over the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Well, it took almost 2 years, but Eric Lindros finally made it to Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario on Thursday. And not quite the welcome he would have liked, I'm sure, but the welcome that he himself, I think, expected. Let's look back now on a great hockey evening of entertainment in the North Country. Hockey night in Sault Ste. Marie had special meaning on Thursday. It was the debut of Eric Lindros in the community he rejected just 2 years ago. The fans here left no doubt as to how they felt about Eric Lindros. Civic pride came to the fore. The signs told a story.
He was offended. And really, when you stop and think about it, it was a perception. The perception was all wrong on his part. It's a great city. You can, great educational system. It's a great place to play. And then everything started being quoted about it, and all the things said, and what do you know, he had to come back here and play, and everybody's excited about it.
I think the people have had some fun with it, which is important. I know Eric was looking forward to coming in and playing well, and, he anticipated that there'd be a lot of excitement, that he wasn't exactly going to get a warm welcome. But I think it's worked out pretty much what he expected it would be and what everybody from Oshawa expected it would be.
But the community had turned out to see Lindros. The return added more excitement to a game and to a series that has already been exciting. You could not possibly have fit another person into the Sault Ste. Marie Garden.
Well, there's no question that if you wanted to go per capita, this city has a culture of hockey. We go back to the Espositos and the Coffees and the Mackeys and the Gretzkys. This city breathes hockey, and it's important to us. It's just not something that happens. It's something that is a part of our culture, a part of our community. And I think the fact that we're here, in spite of the early betting, is an indication of how a community will stand behind its team, and a team will win. Not a player, but a team.
Oh, I wish it was always like this. The hype is, of course, who would ever dream that this was going to happen when we made that trade a year and a half ago, and now that this has happened, the hype is unbelievable. It's not only in the building, it's in the whole community. You got to understand that the community is very, very proud of their team and proud of the hockey and where we've come from and where we think we're going. And as we've talked many times, you have to understand these Canadian cities, hockey is part of the culture of the community. So really, it's although we've had great support, we were the third highest draw in the whole league this year, and only 1,200 fans away totally from being the second highest draw. So the city has really adopted this team.
And while the 4,500 fans may have been drawn in part to see Eric Lindros on this night, the focus slowly but surely shifted to the home team. Trailing 5-2 in the third period, the Soo Greyhounds rallied. Late in the third, Tony Yob tied the score, and the Sioux fans sent yet another comeback. Overtime, and the Greyhounds with a chance to take a series lead on home ice. It is ironic that on this night the winning goal should come from Jason Denemy, one of the players who came to the Sioux in the Lindros trade.
The fans really support us, I have to give true credit to all the fans here that came out. They saved the Greyhounds, and now we're back.
And so the night that was supposed to be all about Eric turned into a Greyhounds victory celebration. On the 8th day, God created Eric Lindros. Well, I'm not sure, but he certainly plays like the leader of this Oshawa Generals team. He's helped his team to a 2-1 lead with 40 minutes to go in Oshawa.
The Industrial Tool Division of Black & Decker presents the industry's best circular saw with the industry's best circular saw offer. This professional palm sander free with every saw cat. The all-new saw cat from Black & Decker. Finally, a cordless drill that just won't quit. The Black & Decker Univolt, with more torque than its leading competitor and more than 100 watts out of power. Only one thing stops the Univolt. The industrial strength Black & Decker Univolt.
Well,
we're getting somewhere here. I've been telling you Goodyear's in the tune-up business, and you're starting to get the picture. Now, let's go out in the street and try it again. Goodyear means tires. What, is my handsome Graf lying? Golly, for years we've been doing great tune-ups, all kinds of auto service. Let's try it again. Goodyear means tires. Nope.
From tune-ups to tires, Goodyear takes you home.
Work with me, folks. Goodyear does tune-ups. This is not hard. Drawing it was hard, sure.
So what's little dandruff?
Okay. Imagine you're at the social event of the year, and your dream girl says hello, just as you do this. Her first impression? What a hug. Only a few flakes.
Give me a break.
Regular shampoos won't fix your problem.
Ordinary shampoos just rinse flakes away, but the flakes come back. With Head & Shoulders, the dandruff is gone.
Head and Shoulders? But you don't have dandruff.
Bingo.
Head & Shoulders, because you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
It always happens to the one thing you really care about.
Ultra Power has changed tides to new Ultra Tide.
Wouldn't you know? It's her favorite dress. Pudding soaked right into the braid.
Just one small scoop of new Ultra Tide cleans deep down to the fiber itself.
Gets even the braid clean.
Gets out tough stains better than any leading detergent.
Amazing.
New Ultra Tide cleans better, cleans down to the fiber.
Really amazing.
The concession stand doing its good business. The fans in a generous mood. The home side leads the visitors by 2-1 after 20 minutes of play here in Oshawa. Well, I went down to Lethbridge on Wednesday night to watch a very good Spokane Chiefs team finish up the Western Hockey League Championship Series and win it in 4 straight games. They've got one outstanding line and one great goalkeeper. They'll be a force in Quebec City. Experience is the quality that defines the Spokane Chiefs. Since the 23rd of January, this team has gone 30-5, including an astounding 14-1 in the playoffs. In the league final against Lethbridge, the Chiefs tamed a potent Hurricane attack, which had finished third in the regular season in goals scored. One of the teams ahead of Lethbridge, though, was Spokane. And when you throw in Trevor Kidd and the brilliant net-minding display he put on, the outcome of this series was never in doubt.
Trevor Kidd had a lot to do with that. I think since he came there, we started to unite more as a team. I think that after he came there, we started to come together and we started to play excellent hockey. You know, we've only lost like 5 games in the last 3 months, so we've done an excellent job since Trevor Kidd's been here.
Whitney was no small factor in this series himself. A goal and 5 assists in the final game on Wednesday after getting the winner in overtime the night before. Whitney finished with 31 points in 15 games.
He means a lot to us. I know it's something that not many people get to do, and it's one team out of 14 in our league that get to go there, and we were the ones that get to go there right now. So we're going to go there and do the best we can to represent the WHL.
For his part, Trevor Kidd is happy to get a chance to play for the Memorial Cup, something that didn't seem likely when he went back to Brandon last September. Still, the hockey gods have smiled on him a lot this hockey season.
Yeah, it's a great feeling. It's been an unbelievable year. First the Flames comp, then World Junior Gold, and all this, and we're one step away from winning it all, and hopefully we can keep it going.
Coach Brian Maxwell played in the Memorial Cup in 1972 and coached Medicine Hat to the title in '87. Now he's going back again with an experienced team and a good chance to give the West its 6th Memorial Cup in the last 9 hockey seasons.
If you don't think that we're going to win our final game, there's no use being here. So we've talked about right from the start that we have a quality team. We've got a lot to learn, and they've gone to work to learn it, and they exhibited it tonight.
It is the first league title in the 6-year history of this franchise in Spokane. It's a very sweet moment for the players and for the city. By now, though, the focus is on Quebec City, where a dream long thought unattainable is suddenly within reach. And we'd like to congratulate the players and coaches in Chicoutimi, winners of the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League Championship over Drummondville in 4 straight games. Both teams will be in Quebec City. Drummondville goes as the host and will play the winner of the Ontario Hockey League Championship Series. The winner to be determined, of course, maybe tonight here in Game 5. But it's the Generals leading 2-1 starting the 2nd period.
I know headaches, the worst headaches. You talk to your brother, and 10 different guys talk back. So I use Anacin. Anacin has just the amount of medicine I want. Not too much, not too little.
Well, I like that, Pilgrim. When hemorrhoids itch and hurt, it's because of the swelling, so that's why I use Preparation H. You see, Preparation H
shrinks swollen hemorrhoids. And when you reduce the swelling, you relieve the itch and pain.
Preparation H shrinks hemorrhoids.
It's really that simple.
People who think all motor oils are the same should have their heads examined. Just look at his head. See the sludge that can build up? The scoring on this piston. And this metal wearing away because someone didn't give their oil a second thought. Well, think about it. And switch to premium Valvoline all climate. Beats every car manufacturer's warranty specs. There's nothing rated higher than Valvoline. Nothing.
Presenting the Monty, an IQ test. Let's begin. The Monties are A, Greek gods of money, B, a breed of tiny cattle, C, a rock group in China, D, sonic rumble caused by hunger that attack at any time. If you said D, go to the head of the cloud, go to the mouth of your head with a fresh, crisp, counter-attacking hostess potato chip. When you've got the Monties, nothing else will do. Monties attack at any time.
Honey, I know we're on a low cholesterol kick, but if I eat much more salad, I'll turn into a rabbit.
Well, how about a McCain pizza? It's okay. It's a McCain Tender Crisp. And it's low cholesterol.
Low cholesterol pizza?
It says so right on the box.
Low cholesterol pizza. Great idea.
Great pizza, too.
McCain Tender Crisp in individual and family sizes. Low cholesterol, too.
Because man cannot live by salad alone.
Game 5 of the OHL Championship Final from Oshawa. The Generals with a 2-1 lead over Sault Ste. Marie after 20 minutes. And it's time for our play of the period. Brought to you tonight by Air Canada. The Soo Greyhounds have been beating the Oshawa defense to the outside throughout this series. Here's one good example by one good rookie. Jarrett Reid, number 15, beats Wade Simpson outside, cuts to the net, and only a great play by netminder Mike Fountain saves a goal for the Oshawa Generals. A big play by the young goalkeeper. All brought to you by Air Canada, going above and beyond. 2-1, Generals lead. Second period coming up as the teams return to the ice. Pull up a chair. The fun continues after this. Lindros with a power play goal at 5:32. Got the Generals off to a good start. Kowalski tied it about 4 minutes later. And then Rob Pearson from Davis and Lindros at 13:27. The go-ahead goal as the Greyhounds outshot Oshawa 16-8 in the first period. Lots of shots. Not much luck for the Greyhounds. Let's see what they can do here in period 2 to the broadcast booth. And Gordon Miller and Bob McKenzie.
All right, thanks very much, Peter. Twice as many goals for the Oshawa Generals after suffering twice as many shots by the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds.
Don't believe I see Gil Craigwell on the bench at all. I have to assume he's still in the dressing room being attended to. We'll try and get a medical report on him.
Lindros starts the period for the Oshawa Generals. They'll go on the power play in 35 seconds. Lindros trying to muscle the puck away from Kowalski. He's got it now. Lindros backhanding in front looking for Davis, but the pass hit someone, and away come the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Kowalski trying to get around O'Hagan. Buries him in the slot. J.P. Davis back for Oshawa. Davis gets away from his man. He's got Rob Pearson with him. 2-on-2. Davis drop pass for Pearson. From the face-off circle off the outside of the post. In front for Davis. And Leonard Ducey got a piece of it and gets it away for Colin Miller. Intercepted again by Pearson. In front for Lindros. And the pass was intercepted by Adam Foote. Foote now breaks away. Check there by Davis, and the puck is picked up by Craigwell. O'Hagan lost it momentarily, but now gets it back. Craigwell is back for the Oshawa Generals. Here's J.P. Davis. Davis, the long lead pass for Craigwell. Just too far for him. Generals on a brief power play, but it'll expire in 3 seconds. They will not get a shot here. And the penalty has expired. Craigwell after it now. In the corner with Foote. He's taken off the puck. Here's Gusillo behind the net. He's bumped by Lindros. Bugner gets it. He was looking ahead for Infernuvo. but the puck was picked up by Burgess first. Scott Lewick now. Lewick for Craigwell. He's got Lindros with him. Craigwell across the line. Tries to get the backhand away. Behind the net in front for Lindros, but the pass is intercepted by Ralph Intranuvo. His long lead pass too far, and icing will be the call.
Craigwell back out there again with a noticeable limp, but he is able to play. You know, the Sault Ste. Marie team is an incredible story. 2 years ago, they finished last overall, earning them the right to draft Eric Lindros first. He subsequently, of course, didn't report, and the big trade happened. But then that summer, Phil Esposito, the owner of the team, tried to sell the team out from the city's nose and almost ended up in Detroit. And it was only a valiant effort by the city of Sault Ste. Marie to save their hockey team that they were able to do it. A group of owners came together, had a new deal with the city, and it really turned things around here. Real tribute to the city and the organization.
18 wins last year, 42 this year. What a turnaround. Here's Grieve now. Grieve directed at the net and deflects wide. It's picked up there by Imber. Sean Imber played a lot in that first period. He's playing a lot here again. For Busillo to Intranuvo. Across the line for Busillo. He can't get the shot away. He's checked off the puck, and it's picked up there by Trevor Burgess. He's got Lewick and Weaver with him. Weaver kicks the puck onto his stick. But did it to get offside, and he has to regroup. Burgess with a dangerous pass, almost picked off by Intranuvo, who would have been in alone. Busillo picks it up. Picked up by Cornish now along the board. He overskated it, though. Cornish fighting forward along the boards with Intranuvo, and the puck is frozen. More pushing and shoving along the boards. Intranuvo getting into it with Claire Cornish. And we've mentioned before, there's hard feelings between the fans, and there's hard feelings between the players. Even some of there was some talk about the coaches getting into it after Game 4.
Well, the coaches have had some verbal battles going throughout this series right from Game 1. Rick Kornacki and Ted Nolan going at each other. There was a very interesting situation in that game where Rick Kornacki was urging the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds to jump over the boards and join a fight. A couple of them almost took him up on it. He realized then he might have been getting under their skin a little bit. Teddy Nolan came back and really gave it to Kornacki.
Mike Dukoff has 10 goals in the playoffs. 3 of them have come on the power play, so he's a specialist with the man advantage. Cornish steps in for Oshawa. Jarrett Reid for Sault Ste. Marie. Deasley and Hollis out there for Oshawa as well. Here's Deasley now trying to get the shot away. Does quickly, and Lindros steers it to the corner. Hollis back to the point now. McCraven. His shot deflects. Lindros still manages to make the save. Hollis centers in front. Deasley couldn't get a piece of it, and Sault Ste. Marie breaks away. Here's Denny Lambert for Metzos. Can't get a stick on a quick shot there. Bob Bugner shoots it just wide. Metier keeps it into the line. Lambert can't control it. In front, Metzos couldn't get the shot away. Here comes Claire Cornish for Oshawa. He's got Deasley with him, along with Simpson. Shot right on, handled easily by Lindros. Backhanded away by Bugner and right into the crowd.
Well, the sign makers are out in full force here in Oshawa, and that was also the case when Eric Lindros made his first trip back to Sault Ste. Marie. I think there's a message there. Fans in Sault Ste. Marie are great. They really have had a great year, a lot of things to cheer about. They have not had a crowd in Sault Ste. Marie this year under 3,000. In the 3 years that Phil Esposito owned the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, they never had a crowd over 3,000, including the one year they were in the playoffs.
You know, they had 18 days off during the playoffs, and they had 3 open practices. And to show you how popular they are on the Soo now, they had 600 fans at each of their open practices.
Well, in the big game the other night, in Game 3 and 4, they piped in cable television into a couple of local halls pretty close to the Soo Memorial Gardens, and those places were packed out. No question, it's a great hockey town, and they're really enjoying this OHL final.
Mike Cote gets a rare shift here for the Oshawa Generals, going off against Colin Miller. Cote, McPherson, and Bender out there, and now McPherson will step in to take the draw. Just under 17 minutes left in the second period. McPherson gets the draw. Back to O'Hagan and over to Davis. J.P. Davis. He's had a couple of good scoring opportunities in this game. Cote muscling along the board. Gets pushing with Denemy. Didn't like the fact that he got a glove in the face and shoved him back. And referee Don Van Mazenhoven will call penalties. We'll be back to sort it out in just a minute on CHL Sunday night on TSN.
We could seal the identity of this 91 Hyundai XL to find out what people thought it was worth.
Great.
Fully loaded?
Handles well.
That's roomy. about 13 grand. At least 15,000.
13 something.
More car than you expect, for less than you think. The 1991 XL.
Offsetting penalties. Jason Denemy goes off for elbowing. You see this one off the face-off. The two of them going at it pretty good. And coming up, you'll see a big hit from Denemy coming into Cote. Gives him the shot in the head right there, and then Cote comes back and gives him a bit of glove back.
It's coincidental minors, and it could be even more. Yob and Pearson got their sticks up. Elbowing is a penalty to Denemy. It's roughing to Cote. 4 aside, the net is knocked off the moorings. Lindros claims that Sault Ste. Marie did it deliberately and should get a penalty, but I think his claim will fall on deaf ears. Lindros is not afraid to speak his mind out on the ice, whether it's to referees or opponents.
Let's have a look at Leonard Ducey here. He goes over to reach for the puck. Not sure whether it was intentionally lost his balance. It's awfully difficult to tell, and I suppose that's the way Don Van Massenhoven saw it.
Boy, they're getting good at it, aren't they?
They sure are. It's become an art. Andy Moog, however, in that Boston-Pittsburgh game, took it a little too far, I think. He should get Montreal, rather, not Boston-Pittsburgh. Boston-Montreal took it a little far, and it was good that they awarded the goal in that last game, Game 7.
2 minutes for lack of imagination. Here's Hoffman out there to take the draw against Colin Miller. Miller gets it into the corner. And away come the Greyhounds. Imber can't control it. Foote lost control, and Hoffman is in after it. Ducey way out of his goal, shoots it the other way and out of harm's way. Bounces in front wildly, and Hoffman put it right through the crease. And play is whistled down. It was a glove pass by the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Good forechecking by the Oshawa Generals. B.J. McPherson and Matt Hoffman do a good job of forcing the play and going in and playing Soo Greyhound type hockey. That's the kind of hockey the Greyhounds have been successful with against these Oshawa Generals. The Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds are making the Oshawa defense look very vulnerable in this series. And on that occasion, Paul O'Hagan and the Generals turned the tables on Sault Ste. Marie and managed to generate some offensive force. O'Hagan makes a big difference to this Oshawa team. We mentioned earlier he was suspended for an incident in the Sudbury series. And I know the Oshawa Generals are pleased to have the captain back in the lineup. Eric Lindros, the man who wore the C while O'Hagan was out, steps in to take the draw. It's picked up by Tiley around the boards to Basilla. Former Oshawa General fighting at the corner for Rob Pearson. Away comes Sault Ste. Marie. Bugner looking for Intranuvo. Lindros is out there without his stick. It was broken. We've got a penalty on the play. And more pushing and shoving behind the goal. It'll be a slashing call, and we'll be back to sort out the penalties. There could be even more coming in just a moment as Intranuvo gets into it with Lindros. Lindros' stick shattered at center ice. And he's got more to say to the opposition. We'll be back with more in just a moment on CHL Sunday night on CSN.
Butterball turkey, prepared meats from the deli. Lunchtime, party time, anytime. Butterball for today's active lifestyle. Ask for Butterball prepared meats now at your favorite deli. Any way you slice it, Butterball. It's one of the most technologically advanced, rigorously tested fluids on Earth. It is today's Quaker State. At Quaker State, we don't just say we're tough, we're tested tough. The big Q is one tough motor oil.
Eric Lindros goes off for slashing. In fact, he slashed Intranovo with a broken stick. He originally broke the stick on Intranovo's pads coming up, and then turned around with the broken stick and put it across. And Kornakia not too happy about this turn of events.
Third penalty of the hockey game for Eric Lindros. Sault Ste. Marie goes on a 4-on-3 power play. Yob is out there along with Colin Miller, Adam Foote, and Sean Imber. Imber keeps it in, but then kicks it back outside the blue line. Craigwell is all over him, killing this penalty. Craigwell doggedly staying with Sean Imber, trying to fall on it at center ice, and finally it's picked up by the Greyhounds. Adam Foote loses control again, but now clears it into the corner. Here's Tony Yob, way out of his net. His fountain, he clears it into the corner. Colin Miller couldn't control it. Craigwell gets it ahead of J.P. Davis. Davis in no hurry, clears it in. And Craigwell will head off the ice after a good bit of penalty killing. Here's Adam Foote. Across the blue line with Colin Miller. Looking in front for Tony Yob. Shot saved by Fountain. He saw all of it and got all of it. Back to the point to Foote. Winds up again, and a big glove save by Mike Fountain, who spears that shot that was heading for the top corner.
Good concentration by Mike Fountain. He had Tony Yob all over him in front of the net. Yob's job on the power play is to get in front of the net. He's a big guy. He's aggressive. He's also got a good touch if there's a rebound. And watch the puck get fed back. And watch 77 Red move into your screen. And here comes the big shot from Foote. Good concentration by Fountain. Yob's function on the power play very simple. Play off to the side. And as soon as the defenseman gets the puck, move into the middle. In fact, wasn't right in front of Mike Fountain. Might have wanted to try to cause even more interference there.
Internuvo out there now for Sault Ste. Marie. He's got Denny Lambert along with him and Joe Busillo. Back at the point is Foote, who stays out there. This is Foote now. Winds up again. Shot hit someone in front. That was Busillo. Here's Grieve in the corner fighting for it. Craigwell's back out there. Tips it but not out. Internuvo at the point now. Over for Foote. Off his foot, on his stick, and over to Internuvo. Back to Foote again. Tees it up this time. The shot went just wide. Internuvo now in the corner. Fighting for it with Kravitz. Kravitz comes out with it. Clears it, but not out. Here's Denny Lambert. Lambert at the blue line. 30 seconds left in the power play. Here's Lambert at the line. Shoots! And Fountain gets a pad on it and then falls on it in front.
Good concentration by Mike Fountain on a deflection by Joe Busillo. Busillo cruising in front of the net. Lambert moved in from the point. Had a good, low, hard shot, which is what you want to do. Busillo coming across the middle, deflected it, but Fountain followed it the whole way. Here's Lambert allowed to move right in. He fires a bullet right along the ice. And a good job there by Cote and Brian Grieve teaming up 2-on-1 on Joe Busillo.
Rick Kornacki played Mike Fountain on a hunch, and so far he's done pretty well. 18 saves in the hockey game, and his team leads it 2-1. Here's Imber now. 20 seconds left in the power play. Big shot, another glove save by Fountain, who snakes a high drive from the point.
That one came up fast. Imber had a rolling puck. Oshawa assistant coach Larry Marsden, the headset on. Rick Kornacki hoping they get out of this penalty-killing situation. 16 seconds left in Eric Lindros' 2-minute minor.
Matt Hoffman out there against Internuvo. Internuvo gets the draw back to Imber. He goes to the far side. The shot hits a leg in front. Busillo gets it. Here's Bugner at the line. 5 seconds left. Bugner with a rolling puck, shoots it just wide. Imber keeps it in. And Internuvo clears it out. Big hit there by Lindros, who drilled Bugner. Lindros makes his presence felt. Now gives him a cross-check. Here's Davis. Davis looking for Lewis. Pass is too far for him. Davis has it back at center ice. Lewis backhand pass for Lindros, and offside is the call. And boy, did Eric Lindros take Bob Bugner to school.
Well, he does that a few times every game. There's a bit of a scrum over on the board. Lots of pushing and shoving. Matt Hoffman in there going at it pretty hard with Mike DeCoff, number 19 for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. I think they'll probably be offsetting penalties here. And Lindros can really do it a lot of different ways. Banging Bugner into the boards. You have to be careful here. You don't get a hitting from behind penalty. In that case, it was fortunate just to sidle up beside him and squeeze him out. And probably actually laid off a little bit. Could have probably hit him harder.
And you see a little more stick work afterwards. It's offsetting minors to Hoffman and DeCoff. Comes with 13:40 left in the second period, and Oshawa leading 2-1. A lot of offsetting minors in this game, as befits a contest filled with so many pushing and shoving matches. Just imagine if this series went 6 or 7, how it would get.
Well, Teddy Nolan would like it to go 6 or 7. He'd like it to go 5 and end it tonight.
His team has had a lot of rest in the playoffs, and they'd like another one before the Memorial Cup. Here's Grieve with it now. Reid gets it across for Kravich. Lindros looking for the loose puck. He's going toe-to-toe with Foote this time. They got their sticks up. Falling on him in the creases, Lenarduzzi, and Lindros is right on top of him. Still tied up with Foote, who I think is going to draw a penalty. Foote now sticks his glove in the face of Lindros.
It'll be interesting to see if he draws a second one here. Van Massenhoven easily could have come up again. Lindros being disciplined in this instance, taking the shot from Foote.
This is a common tactic against Eric Lindros from teams that try to draw him into coincidental minors because they figure anytime you can get Lindros off the ice for a couple of minutes, you've done the job.
And there's only one minor here to Adam Foote for hooking. Behind the play, B.J. McPherson goes to the net and goes right over top of Lenarduzzi. Matsos comes down on him, and you'll see Foote and Lindros, the tail end of the infraction. You'll see Lindros gives Foote a bit of a shot there. Foote looking around. Foote's a very savvy hockey player. He's very smart. And right there, almost waited until Van Massenhoven was there to see it. Hits Lindros, hoping Lindros would retaliate and at the very least get Lindros off for the power play.
He didn't, and the call is hooking to Adam Foote at 6:32. Lindros stays out for the power play along with Pearson, Craigwell, Burgess, and Davis. Bugner now clears it out of the zone. Back to get it is J.P. Davis. He had an assist on the second Oshawa goal. Davis now ahead for Burgess. Burgess with a lead pass to Craigwell. In alone. Shoots it, scores! Dale Craigwell. Dale Craigwell makes it 3-1 Generals with a power play goal.
Here's the replay. This is a set play. Davis puts it up to Burgess and watch Craigwell break through the middle. They knew exactly what they were doing. And Craigwell fires it high, and we've got some fireworks going here. A great pass by Trevor Burgess right up the middle to Dale Craigwell. Craigwell puts it up high on Lenarduzzi, who did not come out very far to cut down the angle. And in the aftermath of all that, Rob Pearson and Eric Lindros both got involved with Adam Foote. All sorts of fireworks right in the middle of the ice. Lindros ended up at the Sault Ste. Marie bench. He had a stick in there on the bench. Interchanges with all sorts of players. It's going to be interesting to see what gets called here. Foote did something when he came out of the penalty box, whether he and Pearson bumped into each other. I didn't see exactly what it was. But Craigwell makes it 3-1.
Dale Craigwell strikes again on the power play, something he did very well over the course of the regular season. 9 power play goals in the regular season. That was his 6th of the playoffs. And we may have more penalties called here after a scrum at center ice. We've had 2 of those now after goals, and here's what happened.
Lindros goes over and delivers a little lumber to somebody at the Sault Ste. Marie bench. You'll see Teddy Nolan really going at it with Lindros. They've also had a big verbal feud going throughout this series. Ted Nolan is a coach that really does like to chirp at the opposition players.
And Eric Lindros is a guy who's not afraid to chirp back, as he did on that occasion. Ted Nolan described himself as an aggressive type of player in the NHL and the minors. That's the way guys who get 200 minutes a year describe themselves, I suppose.
He's a feisty hockey player. He played that way for the Soo Greyhounds, played that way for the Detroit Red Wings and Pittsburgh Penguins over 3 seasons, and was in the minors for a lot of years with Adirondack and many other stops along the way. A good, honest hockey player. His Sault Ste. Marie hockey team plays much the same way he did. And Rick Kornacki is not too happy right now. The fallout from that penalty, the penalty situation after the goal. They put no penalty minutes up on the board at this point. So there's 2 Oshawa Generals sitting in there and 2 Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds.
Hoffman is still off for Oshawa. He is joined by Rob Pearson. Meantime, Jarrett Reid has got into the box for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Offsetting penalties. They'll play 5 skaters on 5. It's 3-1 now, Oshawa. Don't forget, Sault Ste. Marie came back from a 5-1 deficit to win Game 3 of this series. It's a long way from over yet. Offside is the call at the line, and again we've got pushing and shoving, and now we've got a fight. It's Colin Miller and Clark Cordish right in front of the Oshawa bench. Cordish and Miller. Miller's got his back turned, and Cordish is really giving it to him. Away from the play, they dropped their gloves and went right to it.
Neither one of the players are what you consider heavyweights. Colin Miller and Clark Cordish, two finesse hockey players. But in that situation, tempers are really boiling over there. The two benches are side by side. There's been a lot of stuff interchanged back and forth. A second fight almost broke out on that play as well.
The penalty boxes are filling up, and it's getting more interesting by the minute. We'll be right back from Oshawa.
Introducing the new standard of high performance, the Supreme Custom 3000 by Bauer.
They added to the press boxes here in Oshawa. They may soon have to add to the penalty boxes. We've got 3 in each of them so far.
Here's the action right in front. Clark Cordish up with his glove in Miller's face. They start talking back and forth. And at that point, the gloves haven't come off. And as soon as the lid popped off of Miller, both gloves came down.
You hear the chant of Diesel going up here in Oshawa. Rick Kornakia has a big guy on his bench. Mark Deasley, the man they usually call upon to take care of things when the going gets rough. In fact, Kornakia sent Deasley out earlier in the series, but no one from the Sioux would oblige the Diesel.
Well, I think it's really to Oshawa's best interest if they can start playing hockey here, keep the game wide open, keep the game offensive. They don't want to get into a grind-them-out war where there's all sorts of penalties and fights.
Fountain gloves it in front, and surprise, surprise, more pushing and shoving. This time it's Davis and Pappas going at it.
This happened a lot in Game 1 and Game 2 of the series. I didn't see the games in Sault Ste. Marie in Games 3 and Game 4, but I was able to listen to them on radio. Seemed to be a lot less of this pushing and shoving after every whistle. I have to believe in some respects it's designed by the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds as a tactic to try and slow the Oshawa Generals when they're on a roll.
And you see Basillo in the middle of it. He, of course, is a former Oshawa General, so if he does drop his gloves, chances are he'll be fighting someone who helped him win a Memorial Cup ring.
Basillo, a big leader for this Sault Ste. Marie team, coming over as the overage.
12:49 left in the second period. 3-1 the Oshawa Generals lead as they try to stave off elimination. And now we've got a timeout called, I believe, by the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds.
We've done a lot in this series, Gord. Both coaches have found themselves in situations where they've had to call timeouts in the middle of the game because they see the game getting out of hand. By no means is a 3-1 score out of hand, but the Oshawa Generals have been carrying a lot of the momentum, a lot of the play. And Coach Ted Nolan has been masterful at getting his team back on track. They have this rare ability to be able to switch off and go from this style where there seems to be pushing and shoving after every whistle and all of a sudden start playing the very aggressive forechecking that creates opportunities for them.
Ted Nolan has preached patience to his team all year long and says, in fact, the turning point in their season came midway through the year, a game against the Kitchener Rangers in which they trailed 1-0 late in the third period. They fired 53 shots at Mike Torchia and were beginning to get a little frustrated. Nolan called timeout and said, be patient, don't worry, the chances will come. They tied the game and then won it in overtime, and he said, since that, the players have been believers.
Well, down 5-1, you win 6-5 in overtime. Another game, you're down 5-1, you come back to make it 5-4 before losing, but almost tying it up. There's no question that the Soo Greyhounds believe in their coach now when he says, hey, take it easy, guys. It's a 60-minute hockey game. We'll be there at the end.
A total of 6 men in the penalty box, but there's no power play here. J.P. Davis behind the net for Oshawa. Almost had the puck taken away from him, but gets it back. Davis now backhands it in. Jason Weaver after it for Oshawa. Weaver bumps in the corner there with Bugner. Davis with a shot. Goes just wide. He was drilled by Pappas after he took the shot. O'Hagan with a shot. Stopped in front. And away come the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Pappas with the long shot, gloved easily by Fountain. Mike Fountain now behind the net, intercepted there. and picked up by Intranuvo, but Intranuvo couldn't do anything with it. O'Hagan battling behind the net now with Pappas. Oh, big hit there. Scott Hollis took his man down. We've got 4 players tied up behind the net, and finally the whistle blows as the puck is frozen along the boards, but you had 4 players tangled up behind the net as they continue to scrap in the close quarters.
Ralph Intranuvo was at the OHL midget draft last year. He didn't expect to be taken. He was there to see some of his young Nat teammates to go. All of a sudden, the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds talked to somebody who knew him and said, would he report to Sault Ste. Marie if they draft him? He said most certainly, and they did. You'll see him here. He's not very big, but boy, is he feisty, and you'll see him get in here and mix it up. The Oshawa General defenseman. Kind of a stalemate there.
I suppose referee Don Van Mathenhoven could have called penalties there, but there's no room left in the penalty boxes to send anyone, so they head off to the bench.
In fact, Sault Ste. Marie traded to get the 8th-round pick. They wanted Intranuvo so bad, they traded to get the pick. They were afraid if they waited around any longer, it wouldn't be there, so he made a deal with the Peterborough Pete. And presto, he's in the Sioux.
Adam Foote now bumped behind the net. And there's a penalty coming to Oshawa. Jan Bende is going off for dragging down Adam Foote. 11:51 to play here in the second period. And Sault Ste. Marie will soon go on the power play.
Oh, there's always a very fine line when you're forechecking, have a guy up against the board. In this case, Bende almost has a closed hand right over Foote's shoulder. You can see him holding onto his sweater with his fingers and right through the gloves. And I don't think there's any question you have to call a penalty like that.
That is still against the rules last time I checked. And Jan Bende goes out for holding at 8:09 as Sault Ste. Marie goes on the power play.
He did that without the palms being cut out, like the old Toronto Maple Leaf teams. There in the center of your screen is Sherry Basson, man who built the Oshawa General teams for many years around here, and now part owner and general manager of the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds.
Still lives here in Oshawa. Makes a lot of trips up to Sault Ste. Marie. Here's Grieve now. Grieve got away from his man, gets it ahead to Kravitz. Kravitz shoots it in. Job now trying to pick it up. He's bumped by Lewitt. Lewitt stays in after it. Lindros as well. Greyhounds having trouble getting out of their own zone. Reid is hammered by Lindros along the board. Lewitt tries to tip it to Lindros and gets it to him. One-on-one to Lewitt. Back to Lindros. Oh, it goes just wide. A short-handed chance for Oshawa. And Eric Lindros tips it just wide. Some nice puck movement by Oshawa. Lindros brings his man down along the boards. That was Jarrett Reid. Lambert looked like he was about to drop the gloves with him. Play continues. Ryan Grieve now. To Lewitt. To Lindros. Trying to split the defenders. Lindros gets in. But Inver takes the puck away from him. Lindros brought down. No call on the play. And here come the Greyhounds. Adam Foote. Foote across the line. Can't get it ahead, and it's cleared out by the General. Greyhounds trying to get going. Still don't have a shot on this power play. Oh, Jarrett Reid is drilled right at the blue line. And I think that was David Kravitz who nailed him. Here's Grieve. Puck checked off his stick. Foote now. Long lead pass to Basillo. Basillo trying to get around his man. He does. He shoots. He scores. Joe Basillo. A power play goal. And it's 3-2 Oshawa.
What a great effort by Joe Basillo to maintain control of the puck. He was almost separated from it by the Oshawa defenseman. Oshawa having a great kill on this penalty up until this point. And the man who usually leads the way is Foote. Headmans the puck up to Basillo. Basillo up against Paul O'Hagan, two very good friends. O'Hagan does a good job at first of holding him up, but doesn't maintain and follow through. And in that case, O'Hagan has to come up and knock Basillo on his butt. You got him there and down. He's got to go right there. If he doesn't, he maintained control. Three generals look on as Basillo threaded the needle and put it between the post and Mike Fountain.
It took them a minute 32 on the power play to get their first shot, but it counted. Joe Basillo with his 5th goal of the playoffs and the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Here they come again, trailing by 1 as they try to bounce back from a 3-1 deficit.
What a tough shift that was for Jarrett Reid, number 15. He got smoked by Eric Lindros twice, then came across the blue line with his head down, and David Kravitz just laid him out. But Coach Ted Nolan calling that time out and then getting the benefit of a power play. And the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds are back in this one. It's 3-2. Watch Jarrett Reid come down and boom. Kravich just puts him down. Jarrett Reid, 5'10", 170-odd pounds. A Sault Ste. Marie native, their first-round pick in the midget draft, really took a pounding on that shift.
He gives away a lot in size to David Kravich, 6'2", 205, and he laid him out there. Problem with the equipment of goaltender Mike Fountain. And they're over to have a look at it. And so we'll have a momentary delay here, and hopefully no one will get into another scrum. They don't need many excuses here. They get into a pushing and shoving match. Looks like we'll get through this one with 10:19 left in the period. You could say, I guess, that the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds had Oshawa right where they wanted them when they were down 3-1.
Well, we saw all the pushing and shoving, and I say it's a tactic. It's not something that the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds will do for the whole game. They will do it for about a 5-minute period to try and throw the Oshawa Generals off balance, slow the pace of the game down to a walk, and then all of a sudden they'll come back and they'll start playing that high-tempo aggressive hockey again.
Here's Intronuvo with it for Sault Ste. Marie. He's checked off the puck and tied up. Dale Craigwell has it now. Dale Craigwell, who scored the third goal for Oshawa, gets it ahead to Deasley, the Diesel. He can't control it, and he takes a bump. Here's Perry Pappas. His pass hits the skate. Hollis picks it up for Oshawa, but Bugner checks it off his stick. Paul O'Hagan back to get it for the Oshawa Generals. Up ahead for Deasley. Deasley, long lead pass for Craigwell. He can't quite control it. Matier back for it. He's checked. Craigwell gets it, but there was no one there to take the pass. Deasley now keeps it in. Here's Craigwell. Craigwell for Deasley. Shoots just wide. And back come the Greyhounds. Matier intercepted by Deasley. Coming back for Oshawa. Big Mark Deasley trying to go around Bugner. Bugner takes him into the boards. And back away come the Greyhounds. Intercepted by Hollis, but it goes harmlessly in front. Intronuvo comes back for it now. Gets it ahead to Pappas. Pappas bumped by Cote. Back forward is Kravich, and when it's touched now, it'll be icing against the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds with 9:07 left here in the period.
Wade Simpson jumped in and picked up that loose puck after David Kravich, and a Sault Ste. Marie forward, I believe it was Tony Yob, skated right by it on the icing call.
This big line for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds has been somewhat quiet so far. Colin Miller, Tony Yob haven't had many chances here in the second period. Take a look at Mark Matier, one of the good young players for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. 6'1", 170. 1 point in the series so far. Cote steps in for Oshawa. Wade Witten gets a shift for Sault Ste. Marie, so it's the 2 fourth lines out there for these two hockey clubs. Lewick takes the puck off the draw, can't get the shot away. Now does and hits the goal post. Scott Lewick rang one off the iron. Kravich now battles for it, comes away with it. Can't control it though. We've got a penalty on the play. It'll be a slashing call to the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds.
Tony Yob went racing into the corner. He ended up getting his helmet knocked off. At first, I thought the penalty was going to the Oshawa Generals. But in fact, the penalty is going to go to number 6, Brad Kiley. Yob goes into the corner here, and B.J. McPherson comes in first and belts him. There's one. The helmet comes off. And then coming in after that is Cote, gives him another one. And just before that, Scott Lewick had a great opportunity. A very hard shot, quick hands. Kiley loses control of the puck. Goes past Lindros, back out the other side. And then McPherson follows it up and gives Yob the big hit in the corner, popping his head off.
Slashing is the call to Brad Kiley at 11:05. The Oshawa Generals go on the power play. They'll have Lewick out there with Craigwell, Pearson, Burgess, and Davis. Now Lindros comes out. Lindros will take the draw. Intronuvo won it. It's kept in by the General. The shot goes just wide by Burgess and picked up on the other side by Lewick. Behind the net for Lindros, who lets it go to Craigwell. Craigwell looking for Lewick in front. Waits. Now Lindros has it behind the net. He's bumped there by Ember. It comes back to Craigwell. To J.P. Davis. Davis over for Burgess. Burgess has his pass intercepted by Intronuvo, and here come the Greyhounds. 2-on-2. Intronuvo gets the shot away. It bounces high. Picked up by Burgess. Burgess for Lindros. Lindros can't control it. Cleared back in by the Greyhounds. Trevor Burgess tries to regroup. Basillo is right on it. Good forechecking by the Greyhounds. Here's Dale Craigwell now. He can't control it. They're getting bumped at every opportunity. J.P. Davis for Burgess on the far side. Back to Davis. Around behind the net. It takes a funny bounce. And Adam Foote clears it. Craigwell keeps it in. Here's Lindros. Cross ice to Burgess. Shoots. Big save again by Lindros, who snaps it up with the glove.
Fountain seems to have been busier at various points tonight than Lindros, but he comes up with a very good glove save here. Lindros puts it back right across after Craigwell had kept it in. And Trevor Burgess, a guy who can rip a shot pretty hard, an Ottawa native, who scored a beautiful goal against the Ottawa 67s on an identical play, put it in the top corner. He was aiming for the same spot again. But Lindros, the former Oshawa general netminder, makes up his hand and got it.
Combined with Kevin Hodson, the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds had the best goaltending in the Ontario Hockey League this year, and Lindros and Kevin Hodson are #1 again in the playoffs. Not a secret, but one of the ways to be successful in any level of hockey. Cornish steps in for the draw. Can't control it. Cleared out by Miller with 51 seconds left in the man advantage. Back to get it is Grieve. Ryan Grieve behind the net now. Got some room to maneuver. Goes to the other side. Kravich now. Cross ice for Cornish. Cornish across the line. Centers it right in front. And Lindros takes no chances with Scott Hollis right on top of it.
Claire Cornish back from that fight he had with Colin Miller. Cornish, a native of Port Perry, just northeast of here on Lake Scugog. He's provided a lot of offense this year for the Oshawa Generals. You don't hear very much about him, but he's a very skilled player. But he's going to give way now to familiar cast of characters. Dale Craigwell, Eric Lindros back out there. Scott Lewick moving up.
Interesting that Rob Pearson doesn't get a shift on the power play. They put Craigwell out there. And play is blown right away as there was some injustice right off the faceoff. Warning Hollis not to violate the circle before the puck is dropped.
Hollis getting more ice time tonight. He's had a good game and being rewarded with his opportunity on the power play.
Got a couple good scoring chances. Cleared out by the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Back to get it is J.P. Davis with 30 seconds left in the power play. Davis looking to see where Lindros is. Now goes to Burgess. Burgess shoots it in. Love there by Lindros. Leaves it for both. Bugner now clears it, but not out. Davis has it for Lindros. He gets it over to Craigwell. Craigwell back to Lindros in the corner. Lindros trying to walk in front, but Inver took it away from him. And away comes Wade Witten for Sault Ste. Marie. Kiley out of the box. Here's Witten now centering. Can't get the shot away in front, and Kiley couldn't get his stick down. Here comes Craigwell now. Over for Hollis, and it's an offside pass as the pass covered 2 lines. It's 3-2 Oshawa. Back with more on CHL Sunday night in a moment.
Now, son.
Yes, Dad.
You got to work to get into fighting range.
Right, Dad.
You got the old standbys, you know, the screen door dash or the front gate pumps.
Yes, Dad.
But this, oh, Henry, it'll get him every time. Watch, boy. Watch and learn.
Twizzlers make me very happy. I love the way they taste so chewy. So happy and oh so juicy.
Twizzlers make your mouth so very happy.
Welcome back to the Civic Arena in Oshawa, where the Generals trying to stave off elimination lead the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds 3-2. That was Benda trying to get it for Oshawa, but he was muscled off the puck there, and it's back into the neutralized territory. Wade Simpson clears it in. Eddie Lambert back towards the Sault Ste. Marie. Takes the bump from Teasley. That is David Matsos looking for Jarrett Reid, but Paulo Hagen comes back to clear out of harm's way, and now clears it into the crowd with 6:12 left in the second period.
Right now, momentum is really in neither team's favor. Certainly, Sault Ste. Marie picked up that golden arrow at the 3-2, but the real excitement level that we had in this hockey game dissipated a great deal. I suppose that is to Ted Nolan's advantage. Rick Kornacki wants to get his team pumped up, intensify feelings a little bit out there. They seem to be laying back since that goal's being scored.
Jarrett Reid steps in to take the draw for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. He can't control it. Here's Wade Simpson. Reid watching him. He gets it ahead to Benda. Beasley didn't know where it was. Now it's picked up by his teammate B.J. McPherson. Here's Beasley in the corner now. Muscling there in the corner. Lambert is checked. Here's Foote on the other side. Bumps with O'Hagan. Greyhounds having trouble getting it out, but now they do. Here comes David Matsos now. And we've got a fight back in Sault Ste. Marie territory. It's Brian Gowdy going with Mark Beasley. Beasley, the much taller man. Brian Gowdy gives up quite a bit in this matchup, and Beasley rides him down to the ice.
What Gowdy gives up in size, he makes up for in just toughness. They got him from the Manitoba hockey on a reference from Wayne Babbage, the former NHLer, who coached him there, said pound for pound, he's the toughest hockey player he's ever come across, and that includes all the Sutter brothers. A high recommendation from Babbage.
And he'd know a thing or two about playing against the Sutters and how rough that can be. Well, you can see that coming. Beasley had been playing very aggressively, as Ted Nolan would say, on that shift.
Well, the two of them were just going after each other. You'll see here the original, where they set to getting the elbows up in the corner. They came back and they met each other, and they just stood and faced each other like a couple of boxers, each threatening to drop his gloves, but neither one actually doing it.
Well, they finally did, and off they'll go for fighting with 5:45 left in the period.
Gowdy's been a big addition to this hockey team. It allows them to make a trade with the Belleville Bulls, sending one of their other veteran defensemen down to Belleville. And Gowdy came in and has been one of the regular five, playing with Kiley, Bugner, Foote, and Imber.
Still looking for his first goal of the year. He was held goalless through the regular season and now the playoffs. No points in the series, but I guess he gets points for gumption there, taking on the big man for the Oshawa General. Weaver and Craigwell out there for the Oshawa General. Vintranuvo, Pappas, Basillo for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Adam Foote now with it at the blue line. David Kravitz trying to control it there. He can't. Tipped ahead to Intranuvo. He's checked off the puck and it's cleared out. Adam Foote now can't control it. Here comes Scott Lewick ahead to Jason Weaver. Weaver across the line. Goes back for Craigwell. He can't control it. Weaver has it back. Weaver, as he's drawn down, gets the shot away. So it was banged along the boards. Hard by Jason Weaver. Here comes Intranuvo across the line. Lines up. Pad save by Fountain. And Kravitz picks it up and clears it out of harm's way. Hastings is waved off. 5 minutes left now in the second period. 3-2 Oshawa. Here's Adam Foote. He gets it over for Mark Mateer. As for Pappas was too far, Mateer has it back. Intercepted by Dale Craigwell. Craigwell now to Lewis. Lewis tries to pick it out of Weaver's skate. Weaver finally has it, can't get the backhand shot away. Play getting scrappy now. And Foote clears it out. He's brought down. No penalty on the play. Perry Pappas now. Quick shot and a good toe save by Mike Fountain, who had to be quick on that one. Claire Cornish comes away now. Cornish has got Lindros and Hollis with him. Cornish across the line. Draws 3 defenders, but can't get the pass away. Perry Pappas, the lead pass for Yob is too far. Picked up by O'Hagan, who gets it back to Grieve. Brian Grieve. Clears it in now. Here's Hollis in the corner. He can't get it. And icing is called against the Oshawa General. And once again, Lindros gets into it, this time shoving with Perry Pappas.
Doesn't look as though there's going to be a penalty on the play, and that's good news for Lindros. Lindros can't afford to be getting involved in a situation like that. The Oshawa Generals need him out on the ice, and if he's going to take coincidental minors, that's a victory for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Looking on in the center of your screen, directly underneath the big camera, David Branch, the commissioner of the Ontario Hockey League.
He's looking forward to the Memorial Cup next week in Quebec City. He expects several OHL players to be rewarded with postseason awards, and of course he's hoping that he'll see an OHL team win the Memorial Cup.
There's Lindros, took Pappas down in the center. After the whistle, the two of them came back at each other and got the sticks up.
Lindros steps in against Colin Miller. Miller almost got a quick shot away, but couldn't get his stick on it. Miller in the corner. He's brought down there by J.P. Davis, and that brings on another whistle. Well, I'm certain that 2 weeks ago the Oshawa Generals were decided Memorial Cup favorites, but I'd have to say now that not only are they not favored in the OHL, but the Spokane Chiefs have probably taken away the #1 rating from them.
I don't think there's any question about that. We'll talk a little bit about that on Bob's Notebook between periods.
Bob Bugner, the captain of these Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. They're looking for their first OHL title since 1985. They made a trip to the Memorial Cup then, but while Rick Kornacki's Oshawa Generals won the Memorial Cup as recently as last year, the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds have never captured it. Here's Miller now, and again against Lindros. Miller gets the draw back. Bugner can't keep it in at the line. Cornish looking for it now, and he can't control it. O'Hagan for Holland. His pass almost hit Cornish in the head. Here comes Lindros, banging with Bugner in the corner. Bugner avoided a big collision there. He saw Lindros coming at the last second. Tony Yob across the line now with Colin Miller. Yob tried to leave it for Miller. Now he's got it. Miller for Denemy. And the pass was broken up by Lindros. Here's Bugner now clearing it in. And we've got a penalty on the play. And going off will be Paul O'Hagan for holding. O'Hagan brought Tony Yob down in front, and the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds will get a power play opportunity with 3:28 left in the second period.
Yob's a valuable guy for the Greyhounds because he has the touch, he's physical, and he can draw a penalty, as you see in a situation like this. O'Hagan all over him, and he doesn't let up. Just off to the side of our picture there, O'Hagan continued to hold on to Yob, finally threw him down. Referee Don Van Massenhoven finally had no choice but to call O'Hagan for holding.
It's a power play for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. 3.5 minutes left in the second period. They're looking to tie the game up. They've got the cop out there along with Basillo. In Trinuvo. Back at the point, it's Kiley and Foote. The power play unit for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Out there to kill it for the Oshawa Generals, Craigwell, Simpson, Kravich, and Lewis. Craigwell is a dangerous man short-handed. He had 5 short-handed goals this year to lead the team. Be among the team leaders, pardon me. Here's Luke now looking for it. Kiley back for it for Sault Ste. Marie. To Foote. Adam Foote gets the job done. Penalty killing, power plays, you name it. He's a key man for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. He goes ahead now to Basillo. Fans thought it was 2 lines. Basillo moves in front. Saved there by Fountain. The loose puck dangerous in front. Now here's Basillo with it, and he shoots it just wide. Some dangerous moments there for the Generals right in front. Foote, his shot high and wide. Here's the Koff now. Backhands it into the corner. Intranuvo after it. Bumped by Simpson. Intranuvo keeps after it now. Back to the point to Kiley. Cross ice to Foote. Foote aims it for the corner. Here's the Koff. Looking for a man in front. Goes back to the point to Foote. Foote on a rolling puck. It's tipped by Craigwell, who comes away with it. Dale Craigwell clears it in. 1 minute left in the power play. Craigwell was dumped. Fans hollering for a penalty. Here's Adam Foote now. Gets to the head to Tony Yob. Yob going wide on Graves. Stops in the corner. Tony Yob still with it. In front now. It comes back to Foote. Over there to Intranuvo. Ralph Intranuvo. Playing give and go. Now has it. Shoots it. And that's very high, right up into the rafters here at the Oshawa Civic Auditorium.
Intranuvo went for the big wind-up on the slap shot, and Matt Hoffman was able to get a stick in front of it, deflect it up high, and out of play. Oshawa fans are hollering. They thought there should have been a penalty on the play to Intranuvo. Intranuvo slashed Dale Craigwell from behind, right across the pads, made the big rattle around the arena. Referee Van Massenhoven showing no indication or inclination to call that penalty. And the Greyhounds will continue on the power play for another 33 seconds.
Colin Miller is out there now. He's got Yob and Reid up front with him. Miller's won a lot of draws, did it again there. Bugner clears it in. Here's Yob now behind the net. He can't control it. Now he has it back. To Jarrett Reid. To Yob behind the net. Yob being watched closely. Wrap around. Saved by Fountain. And he freezes it as there's more pushing and shoving in front. Mike Fountain in a lot of traffic manages to get the glove on that puck.
A good wraparound by Tony Yob got the puck out in front. The puck was loose. The net came off the moorings, but not before Colin Miller had a whack at it. And then Rob Pearson, number 6, came rolling in and steamrolled right over Colin Miller. Tony Yob, a big, strong guy who knows where the net is. 38 goals this season, one-handed, comes right around. Fountain held his ground very good. You'll see Miller there trying to jam the puck loose. Pearson and Davis kind of team up on him. Pearson's going to go off with a penalty. Miller as well, offsetting minors.
It's been a while since Rob Pearson has talked to his head coach, Rick Kornacki. He spent a lot of time in the penalty box here, and we take a look at Tony Yob. Tony Yob is a guy with good size, 5'11", 202. He's not afraid to stick his nose in there, as you just saw.
Well, he just stuck it in Eric Lindros' face in front of the net, and the two of them shoved. Yob going off the ice, perhaps trying to draw Lindros into a penalty. Get a power play going here.
Colin Miller goes off for roughing. Rob Pearson gets it for cross-checking. The penalties come with 1:46 left in the second period and 18 seconds left in the power play for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Sault Ste. Marie still trying to click here. The man advantage. Lindros is out there now. He'll face Jarrett Reid in the face-off circle. Lindros wins the draw cleanly and gets it to Trevor Burgess. Burgess clears it up. That should about do it for the power play with 10 seconds left in the penalty. Bob Bugner, the captain, gets to the head to Foote. His pass is intercepted by Matt Hoffman. Hoffman takes a bump along the board. And Burgess is back to get it for the Oshawa Generals. Now in behind the net, Reid has it. Gets it in front of Lambert, but he can't get the shot away. And just as he goes down, Burgess with a long lead pass to Lindros. 2-on-1 with O'Hagan. Lindros spins, and O'Hagan cannot get his stick on the puck. Nice pass by Eric Lindros. O'Hagan now clears it in front for Hoffman. Lindros has it in the corner. Lindros in front for O'Hagan. It took a hop over his stick, and away come the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Kenny Lambert is belted along the boards. We've got an injured player behind the play. Looks like it's Wade Whitten who is shaken up. Check that. It's Adam Foote. Adam Foote is down, number 5.
Behind the play, Eric Lindros and Adam Foote were jawing at each other. Eric Lindros jabbed him in the leg with his stick. Adam Foote most definitely embellished this one, I would think, as we watch the replay. Lindros gives him a bit of a spear here, but doesn't really touch him too hard. Adam Foote, as I said, a very savvy hockey player. He looked right over. You see it in the top corner of the screen here. Watch the blade of Lindros' stick go in, and it didn't go in too hard. Well, it was a sensitive area. Adam Foote went down as though he'd been shot. He's done this in the series. Up in Sault Ste. Marie, he went down hard one time, looked up, saw that a penalty was called, jumped up, and then high-fived it with all his teammates, knowing that he's doing full well that he drew the penalty. But the two have had a thing going for the entire series. Here comes Yob coming over, giving Lindros a bit, and Yob goes down and gives it back to Lindros. There's a lot of stuff happening behind the play, and a lot of it involving that young man, Eric Lindros.
Be interesting to see if he can carry that physical style of play over into the NHL, because in the big leagues, when you stick a guy, it may not be Adam Foote, it may be someone like Scott Stevens or Kevin Hatcher, and they're just as big as he is.
Well, a lot of people speculate it'll be interesting to see how he will make the transition to pro hockey. I don't have much doubt that he's going to be an impact player in the National Hockey League. To exactly what degree remains to be seen. There's no question in my mind that just being an outstanding junior player, as dominant as any player that's played junior hockey before.
Shot by Kravich is right on, and gloved by Lennarduzzi. 50 seconds left in the period. Cornick bumps Imber in the corner. Here's the cough now. You get to the head to Basillo. Joe Basillo brought down. Kravich backhands it off the boards. It's cleared out. Here comes Eric Lindros. One-on-one with Imber. Lindros now waits for his teammates to come in. Long pass to Kravich. Quick shot. Kicked up into the crowd by Lennarduzzi as Lindros showed us a burst of speed there. And then a nice cross-ice pass.
Kravich moved up, jumped into the play nicely. Lindros held up because the defenseman, number 35, Sean Imber, did a good job of holding him up. Good acceleration by Eric Lindros when the play turns back up the ice, and you see a loose puck. He comes up, but watch the defensive play, number 35, Sean Imber. He holds Lindros. Lindros holds up, fires it cross ice to Kravich, and he banged it off the side of the net and it bounced into the crowd.
I think Lindros is tired. He had a national junior evaluation camp before the season, the regular season, plus the World Junior Championship. He plays 40 minutes a game.
Well, I think it's the same situation as Mike Ricci a year ago. He's played a lot of hockey over the last 2 years. And he take into national junior camp evaluations in the summer, the full season, Memorial Cup playing till May last year, the intensity and the pressure of World Junior Championships 2 years in a row. I don't think there's any question he's a tired hockey player.
Here's Foote behind the net. Seems all right after taking that spear, or alleged spear. Adam Foote now clears it in. J.P. Davis back in the corner. There's a pile-up just in front of him. And Davis steered the puck right into it. Basile lost his stick, then took a hit from Hollis along the board. Here's Infernuvo, back to Foote at the line. And just as the buzzer goes, Foote gets the shot away. It's 3-2 Oshawa after 2 periods of play in what was a rough-and-tumble second period.
It was rough and tumble right up to the last second. Scott Hollis putting down one of the Joe Basile of the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. And as Mike Fountain goes to the dressing room, the Oshawa Generals have 1 period left to make sure that this series continues.
Let's go now to a preview of our second intermission. Here's Peter Watts. In the second intermission, we'll talk to Joe Basile, a former general, now a member of the Soo Greyhounds, and Bob McKenzie will be along with a page out of his hockey notebook. After 40 minutes in Oshawa, it's 3-2 the Generals.
Our next presenter is Michael. So much to me from the moment I saw you. I knew we'd always be friends, that I love you. This is for my dad. Dad, I've loved you from the first moment I saw you. And I got the pictures to prove that. It's photography.
Cause the king bee gets the honey.
Super crisp, super spirals, McCain. What have you done to my fries? We've spiced them up. All right. We've crisped them up. Brilliant. We've even curled them up. Excellent. McCain has taken its famous super fries, dipped them in light batter, and surrounded them with bite after bite of crispy, crunchy, super spicy satisfaction. Straight ahead or curled around. New Super Crisps and Super Spirals from McCain. You'll love what we've done to your fries.
Your brakes, guaranteed for life. Your suspension, guaranteed for life. Your muffler, guaranteed for life. And now, your constant velocity joints and all steering parts are also guaranteed for life. Your Auto Pro dealer, the first under-the-car specialist to offer you a lifetime guarantee on these parts.
40 minutes into the record books now in game number 5. The Oshawa Generals with a slim 1-goal lead over the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. And I never met a player yet that didn't like to talk about a goal that he scored. And here's a great play by Joe Basile working against an old friend, Paul O'Hagan. That'll give them something to talk about this summer. The power play goal got the Greyhounds to within 1, and Joe joins us now. Great play. Let's talk about that to begin with.
Well, Adam made a great play, turned the puck up to me and made a great headman pass up the boards, and I was breaking down the boards on my good friend Paul O'Hagan, and just happened to catch him flat-footed and got around him and got it by Fountain.
A lot of scrums in the second period. Does that play to the style the Greyhounds would like to play?
Actually, trying to avoid that. They're trying to slow the game down. We like to get a flow going. We have 3 or 4 solid lines that contribute every game, and we're trying to stay away from that. That's why the timeout was called by Teddy.
What did he say, Joe?
Basically just that they're trying to slow the game down, try and give their big line a rest, and we're falling into their hands, and we're supposed to. He wanted us to regroup there and make sure that we don't play after the whistle, play in between the whistles, and don't get caught up in all that stuff.
Sometimes the toughest game to win in a series is the last one. Do you think this team is playing as well as it did in the first 4 games?
I think so. We've been down going into the last couple of games. We've shown a lot of grit, and it's going to be tough. It's always tough to win the fourth game in a series, especially against a team like Oshawa. They've been playing well all year.
Joe, a lot of friendships on the line in this, well, not so much on the line, but kind of put aside for this series. You played here last year, of course, part of a Memorial Cup team. Was it tough to make the transition to the Soo, and has it been a tough series to play?
It wasn't very tough. They welcomed me with open arms up in the Soo, and it made everything a lot easier for me. I guess I can say I'm really pumped up to play here. There's a few guys that were involved in that Lindros trade, and it's great fun playing out there against some of my old friends.
Discipline, obviously, is a key in a series like this. It's an easy series in which a lot of players could get overexcited. Is that something that you've talked about as the series has developed, to stay patient and to play within yourselves?
Yeah, the emotions run high out there, and we have to stay out of that and make sure we stay disciplined out there. They have excellent specialty teams out there, and we'd rather play 5-on-5 throughout the series if possible.
The key to the third period. You need a goal, obviously, to tie it and to get back into the game. What are your thoughts about what the Greyhounds have to do?
Just have to regroup in the dressing room there. They're getting all pumped up now. I think we'll come out fine in the third. We have been in the last few games, and hopefully take the game away from them right here.
What does Ted have to say in the intermission?
Basically, we've been in this situation before, and he knows that our team's got a lot of grit and hard work. And we don't have any big stars or big name players like that. Just everybody, but anybody can be a hero on any given night, and hopefully tonight somebody's going to be a hero.
Well, the Greyhounds have been quite a story to this point in the season. Congratulations on this point. Good luck in the third.
Thank you very much.
All right, Joe Busolo of the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. His team down a goal after 40 minutes in Game 5. It's the Generals 3 and the Greyhounds 2, and lots more still to come from Oshawa after this.
People who think all motor oils are the same should have their heads examined. Just look at his head. See the sludge that can build up? The scoring on this piston. And this metal wearing away because someone didn't give their oil a second thought. Well, think about it. And switch to premium Valvoline all climate. Beats every car manufacturer's warranty specs. There's nothing rated higher than Valvoline. Nothing.
For 5 straight years, the full-size pickup from GMC Truck has retained more of its original value than any other in Canada. That's why the popularity of the Sierra is growing faster than any other full-size pickup. And we intend to keep it that way in '91 with the new Sierras. The 1991 Sierra full-size pickup from GMC Truck.
Presenting dual-textured medicated pads from Clearasil. Featuring a smooth side and a rough side that helps remove and prevent acne pimples. The rough side loosens oil and dirt to help unclog pores. The smooth, absorbent side soaks it up. Why settle for a single textured pad when there's a Clearasil double feature?
What are you wearing at Janet's party next week, eh, Romeo? What else? My lucky shirt. Yeah. Be lucky she lets you in the door. Hi, Mom. You like my stuff? It's Janet's party tonight.
This? Oh, your science experiment. Time you learn to do it yourself.
New Ultra Oxidol's intensified detergent plus bleach system goes beyond surface dirt to remove the dirt that causes odors. Oh, right.
I like your shirt.
Beyond Clean, Ultra Oxidol, the odor remover.
Welcome back to our second intermission on CHL Sunday night, coming to you this week from Oshawa. Now, if you're scoring along at home, many of you would note that Bob McKenzie chose the Lethbridge Hurricanes to win the Western Hockey League. But a funny thing happened to the Hurricanes on their way to the Memorial Cup. They were swept by Spokane.
You had to bring that up, didn't you?
What gives, Karnak?
Well, the Spokane Chiefs came in and met a very tired hockey team. Lethbridge went 7 games against the Medicine Hat Tigers. A couple of the games went to overtime, a very hard-fought series. They simply didn't have anything left to give against a very good hockey team that is the best goaltender in junior hockey in Trevor Kidd, a big, strong, mobile defense, and a bunch of forwards who are not only big and tough, but also have the explosiveness of little guys, Ray Whitney and Pat Falloon. And right now, Spokane heads into the Memorial Cup as the heavy favorite to win it all because of all the elements and certainly look a cut above all the rest of the teams.
Now, also scribbled on that napkin is the fact that the prognosticator picked the Hull Olympics to be part of the Memorial Cup, and I see it's Chicoutimi and Drummondville.
Yeah, you had to bring that up, too. Well, at least they let me make predictions, but having said that, Chicoutimi rolled all over Drummondville in the final of the Quebec League. Both teams are going to the Memorial Cup. Drummondville is the host, Chicoutimi as the Quebec League champion. And Chicoutimi looks to be a kind of team that will make some noise at Memorial Cup. They play a very Ontario League style. They're very good on the special teams. That was what really led to their victory over Drummondville in 4 games. And traditionally, Quebec doesn't fare all that well at Memorial Cup, but this Chicoutimi team is in a position to make some noise.
Now, the Quebec League organizers obviously keeping a close eye on this game, and I don't think they'd come out and say it, but I think they have a definite favorite in this series.
Well, if the Oshawa Generals were to win this series and go to Quebec City, they've sold 6,000 tickets already for the 14,000-seat Colisée. It automatically goes up to a sellout as soon as Eric Lindros comes, because Quebec Nordiques, of course, own the first pick in the draft, which is supposed to be Lindros. As a result, everybody wants to see number 88 come down there, of course, except for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. On the other hand, if you want to talk about mixing sports and politics, in the province of Quebec, what Sault Ste. Marie is known best for is a city council decision to go unilingually Anglophone in Sault Ste. Marie, and as a result, might be a bit of a controversy off the ice in Quebec City.
Is that a prediction?
No, it's not a prediction. You wouldn't want to predict anything.
Bob McKenzie, our ace predictor, will join us next week at the Memorial Cup. We look forward to it. That's this edition of Bob McKenzie's Notebook. We'll be back with more on CHL Sunday night in just a moment.
Testing 17 contenders, the Automobile Journalists Association of Canada voted the Subaru Legacy Family Sedan of the Year again. There's banking, and then there's Scotia Banking.
Someone walks into our branch every now and then who could have been my dad 40 years ago. He didn't bring much money to Canada, but he had a skill, a lot of confidence, and Scotia Bank to help him find his feet. He's never forgotten that. Never lets me forget it either. He thinks that's why I came to work here, and he could be right.
Scotia Banking. It's banking plus caring.
White Sox battle for top spot in the first of 2 on TSN. Thursday, 7:30 Eastern. It's Blue Jays baseball on TSN.
A goal apiece in the second period, and the Oshawa Generals continue to lead by 1 at 3-2 after 40 minutes of play. And it's time for the play of the period, brought to you by the good folks at Longines Wittenauer. We've seen it a couple of times in the last few minutes, but it's such a great play, why don't we see it again? It's Joe Basillo's power play goal that got the Greyhounds back to within a goal. He goes around Paul O'Hagan, tipsy-doodles to the net, and then beats Mike Fountain on the short side. And that's the Longines Wittenauer play of the period, brought to you by Longines Wittenauer, superb jewelry that tells time. We share the studio with members of the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. That's netminder Kevin Hodson, who's the backup keeper in this game, and he's kind of keeping an eye on things. He's the guy on the right, by the way. And it's 3-2 after 40 minutes of play, live from the Civic Arena in Oshawa. It's the CHL playoffs on TSN. We'll be back.
It's one of the most technologically advanced, rigorously tested fluids on Earth, relentlessly measured for maximum protection against the friction, the wear and tear, the heat and stress of today's engines. It is today's Quaker Stakes. In Europe, in Japan, in Canada, Quaker State quality has passed the most demanding tests automakers can throw at it. At Quaker State, we don't just say we're tough, we're tested tough. The Big Q is one tough motor oil.
The Industrial Tool Division of Black & Decker presents the industry's best circular saw with the industry's best circular saw offer. This professional palm sander free with every saw cat. The all-new saw cat from Black & Decker. Finally, a cordless drill that just won't quit. The Black & Decker Univolt with more torque than its leading competitor and more than 100 watts out of power. Only one thing stops the Univolt. The industrial strength Black & Decker Univolt.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
TSN lets you ride along with NASCAR's fast to experience the skill of the driver, the precision of the pit crew, breakneck speed, bone-jarring reality, heartbreak in the final lap, and the thrill of being number one. So hold on tight. We're at the Superspeedway at Talladega, Alabama for the super fast action of the Winston 500, Monday, 8 Eastern on Real TV.
CHL Sunday Night Hockey on TSN is brought to you by Molson Canadian. What beer is all about. And by Shell, makers of the performance gasoline, Formula Shell. 2 goals in the second period. First of all, the Oshawa Generals getting a goal from Dale Craigwell on a gorgeous pass up through the middle of the center ice area by Trevor Burgess. At 6:53 of the second period, it gave the Generals a 3-1 lead. The power play goal by Craigwell, his 6th goal of the playoffs. And then about 3 minutes later, here is Joe Busillo's goal one more time. 5th goal of the playoffs at 9:41 as Busillo cuts to the net and scores on effort, the trademark of the Soo Greyhounds. And that made it 3-2. Oshawa leading in the game, and that was the total scoring for the second period. Craigwell on the power play, Busillo on the power play. The shots are 24-15 in favor of the Greyhounds, but despite a margin of 9 there, they trail by 1 on the scoreboard as the third period is set to get underway. And ready to call it, here are Gord Miller and Bob McKenzie.
All right, thank you very much, Peter. As we get set here for the third period of play, I guess the question buzzing around the Oshawa Civic Auditorium is this the final 20 minutes of the season for the Oshawa Generals? It could be, but right now they lead 3-2 in the hockey game as they trail 3-1 in this series. So it looks like right now, if the game was to end, we'd be headed back for a Game 6.
Well, the third period has been the undoing of the Oshawa Generals in this series. They've obviously got to stem that tide, get their act together, and play some disciplined hockey for the final 20 minutes. Coach Rick Kornakia knows the series is on the line, and I think probably if there's any motivation that's going to keep you playing well in the third period, it's got to be the fact that you can be eliminated if you don't.
We'll be back with third period action in just a moment from Oshawa, live on TSN. This is CHL Sunday Night.
Be on the lookout for bikers in action as TSN follows the 1991 Cycling World Cup Series. Canadian Steve Bauer leads an international pack of cyclists through the tough terrain and rugged roads of Europe in a grueling 12-race series that spans the continent. Be watching Tuesday, 6 Eastern, for highlights of the second race, the Tour de Flandre. Keep up with the pack, the Cycling World Cup Series, only on TSN.
Welcome back to Oshawa. The Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds have outscored the Oshawa Generals 10-4 in the third period of this series so far. Mike Fountain is hoping to reverse that trend, and if he does, there will be a Game 6 in this series. In the regular season, when the Oshawa Generals led after 2, they were 41-3-3. In the playoffs, they are 6-1. So holding a lead is something they were good at in the regular season, but it has not been their trademark in this playoff series.
Well, Coach Rick Kornakia wanted to go out tonight and just play well. He said, we can accept if we lose. We realize we're up against a very good team in Sault Ste. Marie. We're not taking anything away from them at all. But we haven't played up to our capabilities at any point in this series, and I'd love for us to play one game where I can say at the end of 60 minutes that we're playing the way that we can.
Ted Nolan has to be happy with the way his team has played. He's talked about hard work. He's talked about sharing the load all season long. and it has certainly paid off for his Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, but they trail by 1 entering the third period here in Oshawa. Dale Craigwell is out there for the Generals, along with Lewick. He's also got B.J. McPherson with him. Juggling lines a bit as Rick Kornacki to start the third period. Paul O'Hagan now tips it up to Imber. Greyhounds have to clear the zone. And offside is the call against Sault Ste. Marie with 13 seconds gone here in the period.
Coach Ted Nolan says the strength of his team is their character. And if this is an opportunity for them to exhibit that character, down 1 goal in the third period.
Ted Nolan had a bit of a shouting match with some fans here in Oshawa as he left the ice after that second period. The always feisty Nolan, never a man at a loss for words.
He loves to get involved. When it's on game 1 and game 2, he was constantly turning around and chirping with the fans in behind the bench here in the Oshawa Civic Auditorium.
Draw is won by Jarrett Reid. Shot in by Tiley. Around the boards, here's Rick Kowalski looking to get it in front. Kowalski is brought down, and it's picked up behind the goal by the Oshawa General. Dale Craigwell back there takes a bump. Pass from McPherson is too far. Quick shot from the point, kicked away, rebounded Denny Lambert. And Mike Fountain comes up with a couple of saves early here in the period. Pressure by the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Jarrett Reid brought down in front, no penalty. Here's Kowalski now. His pass goes dangerously in front. Denny Lambert behind the net now. Checked there by Craigwell, who picks it up and flicks it around the board. Scott Lewick chops at it, kept in by Tiley, who takes a bump. Lots of play along the board. Jarrett Reid taken in big by Paul O'Hagan. There's O'Hagan still fighting for it with Reid, and they continue to push and shove. I'd like to welcome those of you who may have been watching the Boston Bruins-Pittsburgh Penguins playoff series. The Oshawa Generals lead the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds 3-2 early in the third. Sault Ste. Marie leads this playoff series 3-1. Glad to have you along with us. It's been a great hockey game so far. Big hitting, opportunistic scoring, everything you'd expect from a bunch of young men who have their eyes set on the Memorial Cup.
Well, it's down to 18:56 left in this period. Oshawa Generals ahead by 1. Rob Pearson coming back out on the ice. Some offsetting minors, I believe, being called. The Oshawa Generals getting a big performance tonight from Eric Lindros, who has a goal and 1 assist. Pearson missing much of the second period with a 10-minute misconduct. That's not exactly the way that the Generals want to do it. He's one of their best snipers. As a result, they like him on the ice and not in the penalty box.
The door to the Sault Ste. Marie penalty bench is open, and in through it steps Rick Kowalski, who is heading off the ice. Along with Scott Lewick, it's offsetting minors here to open up the third period. We've seen a lot of that in the hockey game so far. The teams do not have a lot of goodwill towards each other at this point, and why should they with so much on the line?
Big Wade Simpson, see the gash on his nose and under his eye. Missed games 3 and 4 in this series because his eye was closed completely with swelling from taking a skate blade.
Internuvo wins the draw to Adam Foote. Quick shot kicked away by Mike Fountain in the Oshawa goal. He's faced 27 shots so far in the hockey game. Matt Hoffman now for Robbie Pearson. Hoffman can't control it. Basillo has it now for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Here's David Kramich. He blocks that shot. Up along the glass he goes to Rob Pearson. He's got Hoffman with him 2-on-1. Matt Hoffman across the line. Back to Pearson. Broken up neatly there by Imber. As a 2-on-1 is handled by the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Here's Rob Pearson now. Shoots it into the corner. Nobody there. Lindros plays it. He gets to the head to Internuvo. Basillo now at the center ice area for Adam Foote. His shot off a foot and into the corner. And Mike Fountain picks it up and shoots it in there. Here's Rob Pearson now. Pearson to David Kramich. High clearing pass. Icing is the indication as Bob Bugner goes back to get it. And icing is the call against the Oshawa Generals.
Rob Pearson and Matt Hoffman going down on a 2-on-1 was broken up. Excellent play by Sean Imber, defenseman for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Adam Foote racing back into the play to bother Rob Pearson, but the puck never did make its way over.
Rob Pearson spent 14 minutes in the penalty box in the second period, 2 minors and a 10-minute misconduct.
Here's Hoffman's pass. Imber does a classic job of staying between him and the other Oshawa player. And Adam Foote coming back right all over Rob Pearson, not allowing him to pick up that loose puck in behind Imber.
Nice play by Imber to break up the 2-on-1. Colin Miller wins the draw and wins it all the way down to his own zone. Foot race for it now. Here's Hollis and Bugner. Bugner comes away with it and sets it up behind his own goal. Sault Ste. Marie trails by 1 with 17:40 left in the third period. Long pass to Tony Yaw. Yaw, buckle on the boards by Paul O'Hagan. They get their sticks up. Trevor Burgess flicks it up, but Tiley keeps it into the line. Brad Tiley around the board. Yaw looking for it. Tried to step into Burgess, but missed it. Burgess still has it in the corner. Colin Miller is on him. Burgess gets it ahead to Grieve, and his clearing pass goes up into the crowd. Don't forget, following the game, to stay tuned for the TSN Turning Point, brought to you by Apple Auto Glass.
Apple Auto Glass, the king of the crop.
Before it spreads and really costs you, get Apple's guaranteed stone chip windshield repairs. Just call
Apple Auto Glass,
the pick of the crop.
There's a man with a dilemma. Rick Kornacki, the head coach of the Oshawa Generals. When he won the Memorial Cup last year, people said, of course he did. He had Eric Lindros. With his team down 3-1 in the series, people are saying he's a bad coach because he has Eric Lindros. Some days you just can't win.
This team's not nearly as good as last year's team that won Memorial Cup, but everything is relative. They had more points, more wins. I don't think the overall competition this year has been quite as good as it was last year.
Here's Dale Craigwell wheeling at center ice. He's got Cornish with him. Craigwell tries to split the defense, but it's knocked off his stick by Bugner. Craigwell now fighting for it in the corner, and Bugner runs over him. Back to the point now. Grieve for Craigwell. Back to Grieve. High shot there, knocked out by Leonard Ducey. Almost lost there by Tiley, and Tiley is checked by Scott Lewick. Here's Lewick, number 14 in the corner for Craigwell. He can't control it in front. Tiley now has it for Bugner. He's bumped by Cornish in the corner as the play continues to be physical, and play is whistled dead as they get a whistle in the corner.
The Oshawa Generals are doing a good job of bottling up the Sault Ste. Marie defenseman, in this case Brad Tiley, number 6, and his teammates having a tough time. I don't know whether to call it Oshawa General hockey, Sault Ste. Marie hockey, because I think it's all the same thing, or at least it used to be. The Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds play a much different brand of hockey now than they used to. And the Sault Ste. Marie, the Oshawa Generals play a much different brand now than they used to. The Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds play very much the style that Sherry Basson pioneered here with the Oshawa Generals. Rick Kornacki has allowed this Oshawa General team to become a much more offensively free-form hockey team. They still can grind it out at times, but all things considered, Sault Ste. Marie is a better grinding team than the Oshawa Generals.
B.J. McPherson, Hollis, and Deasley out there for Oshawa. Another new line combination as Rick Kornacki continues to juggle them up. Leonard Ducey now backhands it around. Here's Imber. Imber bumped by Hollis, who comes away with the puck. Hollis centers it in front, nobody there. McPherson now is brought down in front, no call by referee Don Van Massenhoven. Out breaks the Greyhounds. A long lead pass for Intranuvo. He's got it now. Tees it up. Here's Basillo. Basillo with the quick pass there. And it was just a little behind his teammate, Mike Zakov. Kravich now clears it in. Leonard Ducey, he's been busy. Clears it up ahead. Adam Foote, cross ice to Basillo. Basillo to the Cobb. Intranuvo was way outside. They'll have to reset it at center ice. Cleared in there and picked up by Eric Lindros. Lindros ahead to Kravich. He's got Pearson with him. Kravich for Pearson, just a little too far as Pearson was streaking down the left wing. Pearson in the corner. It's back to the line to Wade Simpson. His shot is tipped up high and into the crowd by Mike Leonarduzzi. We'll be back with more in Game 5 of the OHL playoffs in just a moment from Oshawa.
Only Sony brings you CD players so advanced they'll even play discs damaged by dust, static, scratches, or rover. Sony CD players, for sound you can sink your teeth into.
Play just underway. The Greyhounds stepping across the line, but J.P. Davis comes away with it. Ahead to Rob Pearson. Pearson looking for Matt Hoffman in front, but Hoffman was checked well. Pearson flicks it in front for Davis. Oh, he put it right through the crease, and Lindros couldn't get a stick on it. Lindros now keeps it in at the line. His pass goes off, Hoffman in front. Denemy comes away with it and clears it out of harm's way. Good chance there for the Oshawa Generals. Lindros couldn't quite reach it. Here's Rob Pearson now. Pearson for J.P. Davis, steps into it. His shot is blocked neatly there by Bob Bugner, the captain of the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Hoffman. Pearson can't control it. He's fighting for it with Yob now. They go heavily into the board. Cleared up by Jarrett Reid. Here's Denemy. And he clears it in and heads off for a line change. J.P. Davis back for the Oshawa Generals. Up for Jason Weaver. He takes a bump at center ice and clears it in. Mike Cote, forechecking for Oshawa, bumps his man in the corner and brings down Mark Mathieu. There's a scrap breaking out of the two benches. They finally managed to contain things. Across the line is Jarrett Reid. Reid stops. Looks for someone in front. Not able to get a stick on it is Denny Lambert. Bugner keeps it in. There's Lambert fighting for it now. Lambert behind the net. Lambert gets it in front to Kowalski, but Kowalski can't control it. Mike Cote comes away. Mike Cote of the Oshawa Generals getting a rare shift. And we've got a whistle behind the play as there was a pileup in the Oshawa crease. Denny Lambert was involved with Trevor Burgess of the Oshawa Generals.
Well, there was a big action at the bench. Rob Pearson was going off the ice, and Rob Pearson, you'll see his stick broken, and the reason it's broken is because he put it into the back of Tony Yob as Yob was skating off the bench. The gate was open. Yob came back over, got his stick, put it into Pearson's face, and then Matt Hoffman came to Pearson's rescue. And then you see the trainer, Brian Boyce, for the Oshawa Generals, takes a cuff in the head from one of the Oshawa General players. But that all started when Pearson went off the ice just after Yob. Yob had stepped into the gate. The gate was open, and Pearson delivered a pretty good cheap shot from behind with the blade of his stick right into the backside of Tony Yob.
I think Brian Boyce took the worst of that. He took a little shot in the head and then took a spear in the ribs.
I don't quite understand Robbie Pearson's actions on that play. I understand there's a sense of frustration, but at the same time, he's one of their big gunners. They need him out on the ice. He spent 14 minutes. Big action behind the net. You see the skate being held. Kowalski had Weaver's skate, wouldn't let go of it, so Weaver gives him the pile driver. We see a double WWF, and there's been a fair amount of that stuff behind the play tonight.
Offsetting penalty. Jason Weaver off for roughing. Kowalski for holding. As the teams play 4 aside. Score remains 3-2 Oshawa. The Generals trying to force a 6th game in Sault Ste. Marie. Here's David Kravich now. His pass for Craig Well is too far. Imber has it for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Pass by Adam Foote was intercepted. Oshawa takes over. Scott Lewick steps around Imber. He was lined up for a big hit, but managed to avoid it. Scott Lewick now trying to fight off Adam Foote. Lewick, quick shot there. Kicked away as Wayne Simpson teed it up. Leonard Uzi steers it into the corner once again. Lewick battles in the corner with Foote, who comes away with the puck. Adam Foote. He gets it away to Intranuvo. Intranuvo stumbled a bit. Still managed to come up with it. Intranuvo ridden into the boards by Kravich. And the Generals come away. Scott Lewick now one-on-one with Imber. Now Craigwell moves up into the play. Craigwell back in front for Lewick, but the pass was intercepted. Here comes Sean Imber. Long lead pass for Intranuvo. Ralph Intranuvo to Imber. He can't control the pass. He battles with Kravich, who bumps him in behind the net. Centering pass. Bugner shot deflected just wide as Bob Bugner had it teed up from the blue line. Lewick now ahead for Kravich. Kravich one-on-one with Bob Bugner. Can't get the shot away, and both teams making changes as the play goes on. 12:23 left here in the third period. Bugner, pass is intercepted by J.P. Davis, and Hollis gets it back to Paul O'Hagan, the captain of the Oshawa Generals. Bugner intercepts it and fires it down the ice for Sault Ste. Marie. And Fountain stops it behind the goal for J.P. Davis. Davis has been an offensive force for the Oshawa Generals tonight. Had an assist in the first period and several good scoring opportunities in the second. Davis wheeling now across the blue line. J.P. Davis going in on Mateer, tucks it in, almost scored. But Leonard Doozy gets just a piece of it as the puck trickled through the crease. What a rush by J.P. Davis.
This is J.P. Davis' best game in the series by far. He's really come alive tonight in a game when his team really needs him.
Tony Yob now looking for it for Sault Ste. Marie. Fountain fires it away, and he was brought down by Yob behind the play. Fountain is down. A penalty is coming. Mike Fountain is on the ice. He was brought down behind the play. And there'll be a penalty coming to the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds.
Fountain looks to be seriously injured, down grasping at his leg. Tony Yob just mowed him over in the crease. All sorts of trouble in there.
Now he's got some pushing and shoving in front of the penalty bench. Adam Foote got into it there.
Eric Lindros was over to talk to the referee, Van Massenhoven. Foote gave him a shot in the face.
Fred Brathwaite, perhaps ready to come into this hockey game, says he's 100%. Fountain is still down and being attended to. And Rick Kornakia is living it.
I'm sure that the Oshawa Generals are looking for a 5-minute major, perhaps an intent to injure. There's no question that Mike Fountain is down. He is seriously hurt. Rick Kornakia is really upset by this whole situation. Here's a replay as we look at it. Fountain comes out of his net. He's got the puck. And Yob comes in from behind and gives him a slash on the back of the leg. In fact, it wasn't mowing him over. Gave him a good chop right to the unprotected area, right across the back of the leg. And he can't even get up on his leg.
Yob goes off for slashing at 8:26. The Oshawa Generals will go on the power play, but the big question now is about goaltender Mike Fountain, who is still on the ice and being attended to.
Big question is Fred Brathwaite okay? Rick Kornakia says he's 100% healthy, says that he can't believe where the media get the reports from. Mike Fountain gets back up and tries to shake it off. There's no question he's injured. Now, the question I have to ask is this. In hockey now, you get a 5-minute major if there is an obvious injury. And everybody always mistakes that to mean drawing blood. Now, I don't think there's any question in this situation. The slash delivered injured Fountain. You'll see him here hit him across the back of the left leg, and Fountain goes down. I don't think anybody can accuse him of theatrical. He was down for a long time and in a great deal of discomfort and pain. And I really have to believe in that situation, a 5-minute major should have been called. The Greyhounds catch a break. And it's a 2-minute minor. Yob off.
Fountain stays in for the Oshawa Generals, who will go on the power play as Yob goes off for slashing. Kornakia is still yelling at referee Don Van Massenhoven, expecting perhaps a 5-minute major there, but Yob gets just a 2. Look at Ted Nolan. Nolan is the one man in the building who was accusing Fountain of dogging it a bit. He was waving his hands at the officials and figured maybe Fountain was embellishing it somewhat. His team is shorthanded now. Here's Craigwell across the line, working on Foote, who mugs him. Second glove right in the face of Craigwell. That's been going on all night and hasn't been called. It's been happening on both sides. Craigwell now centers for Pearson. Here's Davis. Quick shot blocked in front. Rebound. Pearson tips it to the corner, and here's Lindros. There's a pile up in front. Pearson has it. Waits on the shot. Kept in by Davis off the goalpost. The second time he's hit the goalpost in the hockey game. Davis can't keep it in at the line. Silo was looking for the loose puck. Can't get it. And it's an offside pass as the puck crossed 2 lines. J.P. Davis has hit the iron twice in this hockey game and had a third scoring opportunity just trickle through the pads of Lindros.
A really inspired performance by the young Oshawa defenseman, just playing outstanding. Seems to have a sore elbow, probably from shooting the puck so hard. He gets it back on the point here and just rings it right off the post. Comes back out the other side. Eric Lindros can't get to it quickly enough. Real tough defense by the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Adam Foote doing a good job on Lindros and Pearson in front of the net. We talked about the Oshawa defense and the pressure on them to perform tonight. J.P. Davis has rose to the challenge that Rick Kornakia threw to him and the rest of his defense players, the defense partners on the Oshawa Generals.
Davis with 61 points in the regular season led all Oshawa defensemen in scoring. This guy, Lindros, has been busy. Mike Lindros, another hunch start. Both coaches went with hunches, and both goaltenders have performed very well. Lindros has faced 22 shots. He's stopped 19 of them. Lindros steps in now against Colin Miller, and Miller wins the draw. 1:15 left in the penalty to Tony Yob. Shot cleared in high by the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, and back to get it is Trevor Burgess. Burgess plays a lot of these power plays for the Oshawa Generals, and he comes away now with lots of room at center ice. Burgess across the line. He was looking for Lindros. It's tipped to Craigwell. Dale Craigwell now. to Eric Lindros. Walks in front. Lindros has the puck checked off his stick by Bugner.
Good defensive work by Bob Bugner. He read that one right. Eric Lindros tried to cut it pretty fine. Excellent work by Bugner on the penalty killing.
Here's Colin Miller with the steal. Miller looking in front. Can't get it in front, and it's intercepted by Eric Lindros. Given away to Colin Miller all alone. What a save by Mike Fountain. He robs Colin Miller in front. Away come the Generals. Dale Craigwell with Rob Pearson. Drop pass for Pearson now. Waits for his mates to join him. Pearson's pass is cleared out, and here comes Colin Miller. He had a glorious opportunity to tie this game a moment ago. Miller has the puck taken away from him by Eric Lindros. Long lead pass for Lewick. It's too far. Icing is the call against the Oshawa Generals as Brian Gowdy is back to touch it.
Generals get very sloppy in their own end, and Mike Fountain bails them out. I believe it was Eric Lindros who lost the puck in front of the net. You see it here coming around in the wraparound. Loose puck pops out. Lindros has the puck right here, but it goes off the end of his stick. Allowing Colin Miller coming back, and he has Fountain down and at his mercy, but managed to sneak over, and Miller couldn't put it up over top of him. Rick Kowalski comes back and gets the rebound, but watch Fountain goes down, and there it is, a gaping net, but he got the glove up.
The penalty to Tony Yob is now over. So the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds kill off the penalty. They still trail by one. Scott Hollis in the corner now. He's checked there. Hollis trying to get it away. Gets it to Matt Hoffman. Here's Lewick now. Number 14, Scott Lewick. And behind him, Matt Hoffman. Hoffman tips it in front. Nobody there. Imber clears it ahead for Yob. And it deflects back to Jarrett Reid. Here's Jarrett Reid now. 3-on-2. Reid going one-on-one with Reid. Reid tips it in front, but Mike Fountain falls on it and gets the whistle. We'll have more from the Oshawa Civic Auditorium in just a moment on TSN.
There's one thing that makes a person attractive. It's not their hair, their face, or their clothes. It's their attitude. Molson Canadian. What beer's all about.
The Oshawa Generals hanging on to a 3-2 lead, and hanging on to third period leads is not something they've done well in this series. Here's Wade Simpson now for the Oshawa Generals. Simpson for Hollis. Kept it at the line. Matier was run over at the blue line by Hoffman. Here comes Jarrett Reid now for Sault Ste. Marie. Tries to tee it up, but Wade Simpson checks him off the puck. He looks for Lambert in front, but Lambert can't get the shot away. Now here's Lambert. Quick shot goes just high and up into the crowd.
Denny Lambert wins a one-on-one battle with Paul O'Hagan. Puts that shot up towards the net. The deflection put it over the side. And a good shift for this line. Denny Lambert on one side, on the left side. Jarrett Reid, number 15, up the middle, and David Matsos on the right side. Reid's a real speedy player. A lot of people compare him to Pat LaFontaine, product of the Sioux Legion Midgets. He was taken 4th overall in the Ontario Hockey League Midget Draft this past last year at North York Centennial Arena.
Joe Basillo, a former Oshawa General, one of the players the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds acquired in the trade that gave Oshawa Eric Lindros. Basillo has played a big role for the Sault Ste. Marie team, and he's out there now. Internuvo and DeKoff are out there as well. At the point, it's Matier along with Bugner. Draw is won by the Oshawa Generals. Here's Wade Simpson. Simpson for Lewick. Scott Lewick. Handles it well, but it's intercepted by Basillo at center ice. Basillo was bumped there by Lewick. Here's O'Hagan now clearing into the Sault Ste. Marie zone. Lewick is battling with the steal, and he took a high stick there. DeKoff now off the glass. Ahead to Internuvo. He's got wheels. Trying to get around O'Hagan. Quick shot gloved by Mike Fountain, who snaps another shot out of the air. That's the 30th shot on goal for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds.
Good job by Fountain to get over and pick up that puck. Internuvo really burns you with his speed. He's in on Paul O'Hagan, a big guy, not the most mobile guy in the world. And as he's falling, gets off a very well-placed shot that really forces Fountain to do the stretch and get the glove out there.
Sault Ste. Marie is a team very capable of picking up the tempo in a hurry. And Ralph Internuvo is one of the guys who does it the best. Just shoots it into an extra gear and catches a defenseman on his heels. He's had several good opportunities as a result of that. He stays out there with Basillo and DeKoff. Rick Kornacki encounters with Dale Craigwell. At center ice along with Pearson and Hoffman. Another big glove save by Mike Fountain. Adam Foote shakes his head. Can't believe that Fountain saw that shot.
Foote's got a really hard shot from the point, and he put this one in amid some traffic. Joe Basillo was going to the net. You watch off the face-off. Intranuva does a good job of getting it back, and you'll see DeKoff, number 19, standing in front, and here comes Basillo cruising in for a rebound, but he's held up by Brian Greaves. Fountain, very impressive tonight. The hunch so far for the Oshawa Generals paying off.
Lindros wins the draw to Greaves. It goes around to Kravich. 8:10 left in the period. Intercepted the zone. Now here's Joe Basillo keeping it in for Sault Ste. Marie. Looking for Intranuvo, who is streaking towards the goal. Here's Adam Foote. Quick shot. Hits the leg in front. Kravich manages to clear it out, and Rob Pearson was in a foot race with Sean Imber. Imber wins it, but can't clear it out. Pearson stays after his man. Hoffman trying to get it behind the net, but here's Basillo now for Sault Ste. Marie. Joe Basillo. Ahead to DeKoff. DeKoff for Intranuvo. Sweep. Left wing. He tried to go stick side and shot it just wide. Intranuvo going in again. And his shot went just wide. Here's Imber now, centering it. It deflects in front. Fountain can't see it, jamming away. Out is Intranuvo at the side of the net. And the play is whistled by referee Don Van Massenhoven. As there is an Oshawa player down on the ice, it is Brian Greaves.
Basillo gave him a swat. Frenzied action around the Oshawa net. Intranuvo had excellent opportunity set up by DeKoff. He breaks in here, but Fountain gives him nothing to shoot at. In fact, if anything, the space was way over to the glove side. Fountain gave him nothing on the stick side, but Intranuvo went for it. And then Intranuvo comes out from behind the net. You watch the puck come around. Here's Intranuvo sneaking around from behind, jams at it, has two cracks at it before Fountain kicks it back out.
Brian Greaves leaves the ice under his own power and appeared to be just shaken up.
Basillo and Greaves were battling in front of the net. Just after the whistle went, you'll see Greaves 28 with Basillo. The puck comes up. That's Kravich going down in front with DeKoff.
Here's Claire Cornish for the Oshawa Generals. Trying to break away. He's got Eric Lindros with him. Cornish across the line. Scott Lewis moves up into the play. Cornish right in front. Taps it right through the crease. Good chance there for Claire Cornish. Scott Lewis now centers it. Pass is intercepted there. There's another player down on the ice.
That'll be Jason Denemy goes down on a punch in the face from Scott Lueck. Teddy Nolan is furious, standing up at the bench, yelling at Van Massenhoven. Denemy, too. You'll see Lueck come up with the glove right into the face. Right, boom, there. Tyson Reddick.
And Lueck remains on the ice, no call there. Lueck gets away with one.
It was right in front of Van Massenhoven, and I think it's obvious at this point that we're going to see the referee put his whistle away. And unless something absolutely blatant as far as the scoring opportunity is taken away, he's not going to call a penalty.
This game is already 3 hours old, and we've still got 7 minutes to play in the third period. There's been a lot of penalties, a lot of interruptions at the whistle, and a lot of good hockey, too. Claire Cornish steps in for the draw against Colin Miller. Miller gets it. And they'll fight for it in the corner. Kowalski and McPherson battling for it there, and they draw another whistle. 7 minutes exactly left to play in the third period as Oshawa leads Sault Ste. Marie 3-2 in the third. We'll be right back.
When you're busy being a mom and chauffeur, the last thing you're thinking about is your brakes, right? But if something told you they weren't right, would you know where to go? You don't want to trust them to just anybody, so you go to Mike. Free 49-point brake inspection, trained experts, written estimates, the famous Midas guarantee. And nice people.
Morning, Murray.
That really look after you. When it comes to brakes, nobody tops the Top Gun. Nobody.
Welcome back to Oshawa, where the Generals are holding on to a 3-2 lead, trying to stave off elimination at the hands of the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Rick Kowalski, number 12, has it for Sault Ste. Marie. Intercepted by Scott Hollis across the line. Hollis tries to go to the backhand, and Sean Imber takes it away from him. Behind the net now. Colin Miller. His pass is too far. And tipped ahead by Kowalski. Kowalski can't control it in the zone, and Scott Holliff comes away with it for the Oshawa Generals. His pass for B.J. McPherson is behind him, and offside is the call.
Well, it's crunch time for the coaches. Rick Kornacki on the right, Teddy Nolan on the left. Rick Kornacki going very much more to his bench than he ever has in the past in the playoffs. We saw B.J. McPherson, a traditional fourth-line player, out there with 7 minutes left. That's very unusual. Usually he'll go really short in his bench in the third period, but at this point of the season, he needs the extra help.
And he's used a number of different line combinations out there. Right now he's got Rob Pearson along with Matt Hoffman, but the center is not Eric Lindros. He is normally the center on this line. Instead, he's got Mike Cote as the fans in Oshawa whoop it up and hope to see their team force another game. Cote wins the draw, gets it back to Reid. Reid was shaken up earlier, seems to be okay. Quick shot there. Taken up high by Leonard Uzi. Up around the boards here is Basillo. Checked by Kravich. Generals keep it in. Pearson now behind the net. Banging with Bob Bugner. Here's Pearson. Pearson's pass just behind Matt Hoffman. And Brent Greaves clears it in for the Oshawa Generals. Check that, Brian Greaves. Brent Greaves played for them last year on that Memorial Cup winning team. They had a brother combo on the championship club last year. Kravich shoots it in for the Oshawa Generals. With 5:50 left now in the third period. Here's Kravich now clearing it up. Picked up by Bugner behind the goal. Greyhounds having a hard time getting it out of their own zone. Bugner clears it up, and it's picked up by Kravich. David Kravich on the open wing to Mike Cote. Cote hard after it with Adam Foote with him in the corner. Cote falls, and Foote comes away with the puck. Adam Foote behind the goal. Gets it ahead to Joe Basillo, who's playing a lot in the third period. Basillo clears it in and now heads off the ice. Fountain takes it behind the net and gets it to Pearson. Rob Pearson flicks it high. Craigwell almost came away with it. And now the Oshawa Generals do have control of the puck. Right in front, they score! Jan Benda takes the pass from Dale Craigwell. First shift of the third period results in a goal, and some good work by Dale Craigwell to get it to him.
Craigwell and Pearson did some good work at center ice here. The puck's lifted high in there. Craigwell comes up and bangs into the Oshawa defender, turns the puck over, allowing Benda to come up. He drops it back to Craigwell. Craigwell shoots the puck at the net, and on its way, a high bouncing puck. Benda manages to tip just in front of a sprawling Mike Leonarduzzi. Watch Craigwell really made the play happen by choking up the ice at center ice, allowing the puck to come loose, and then flipping it in front where anything can happen. And Jan Benda, like any good winger on the play, goes to the net hard.
Jan Benda's first goal of this series may very well ensure that the series goes to 6 games.
Wow, I don't know. With 5:07 left, Gordon, I think there's all sorts of time left in this series. Oshawa just has so much trouble holding a lead. A 2-goal lead is not nearly enough. Not unless they're going to play a lot more disciplined hockey than they have in the past. But they're on their way. They do have a 2-goal lead with 5:07 left.
Benda's first goal of the series is his second of the playoffs. It comes at 14:53. The assist to Craigwell and Pearson. And it's 4-2 in favor of the Oshawa Generals. Once again, they have to clear the ice as the fans here in Oshawa litter it with debris. And it gives Rick Kornacki a chance to diagram some strategy.
What he gets is an extra timeout for his money. He's using it right now to show his players exactly what he wants them to do. On the other bench, Teddy Nolan and his team just sort of letting this settle in. They realize the task at hand is fairly simple. They're down 2 goals. They've got to generate some offense in the last 5 minutes.
Not many shifts for Eric Lindros here in the third period. Interesting that the Oshawa Generals would go with a line normally that Lindros would be on and still come away with the goal.
Lindros was out there for 1 shift. Seemed to be, he's known for taking long shifts. In that instance, he raced right off the ice, allowing Craigwell to come on. And that, of course, led to the goal. But definitely Rick Kornacki using a lot more of his bench than I've ever seen him use it before. And I think he's realizing that his big guns are tired. And it's time to go to the extra guys and see if he can get a heroic effort from an unsung hero like Jan Benda.
These guys have been down before, the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, and they've come back. They're looking to score at least 2 here in the last 5 minutes to force some overtime and perhaps get their shot at a berth in the Memorial Cup.
Well, they're a very gritty hockey team. They never give up. They really exemplify the attitude of their coach, Teddy Nolan. And I'm sure in this final 5 minutes, they're going to come hard and try to end this series tonight.
Craigwell stays out there and wins the draw. Here's Paul O'Hagan. 5 minutes left in the third period. Dale Craigwell comes away with it for the Oshawa Generals. Craigwell across the blue line, has Benda with him, but the puck is checked off the stick of Craigwell. Away with it is Bob Boucher. The Sault Ste. Marie captain shoots it in, picked up by Scott Lewick. Can't clear it out. Denemy keeps it in. Here's O'Hagan behind the goal. O'Hagan goes the other way and back to Lewick. Scott Lewick for J.P. Davis. Davis flicks it in as the Generals now go to very short shifts. Beasley, Cornish, and Hollis are out there for Oshawa. The big line is out for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Now they change. Yob remains out there. Icing is the call against the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds as time is running out in this game.
In the event that Oshawa does win this game, both the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds and Oshawa Generals will board the airplane and fly up tomorrow morning back to Sault Ste. Marie for Game 6. The way the schedule has worked out because of the lack of building availability here in Oshawa, they will play Game 5 tonight. Game 6 is scheduled for Monday tomorrow night, and should Game 7 be necessary, it'll be Tuesday night back here at the Oshawa Civic Auditorium. 3 games in 3 nights. An awful tough task for both teams.
Ted Nolan feels that conditioning is an advantage for his team. He feels he has the best conditioned team in the OHL. They've been working on it since the conditioning camp June 14th of last year. Here's Dikoff now breaking away. Mike Dikoff gets around Greaves. Dikoff goes in, saved by Mike Fountain, who once again comes up with a big stop for the Oshawa Generals.
Rick Kornaki's hunch is paying off big time. Mike Dikoff broke around Brian Greaves. It's been a problem the Oshawa defenders have had throughout this series, allowing the Greyhounds to come wide on them. Dikoff came in, fired the shot, but Mike Fountain squeezed the pads together. Looked like there was some room between his legs. Fountain really rising to the occasion tonight, playing extremely well. Here's Dikoff coming around Greaves. Greaves got him around the waist, and Hollis comes in and buries him, but not before he gets the shot away right into the midsection of Mike Fountain.
Boy, Hollis has been impressive in this hockey game. Throwing the body around, had a couple of good scoring opportunities. Infernuvo steps in for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Oshawa controls the draw and it's cleared out. Eric Lindros won the draw, goes right off the ice. And icing is the indication against the Oshawa Generals. Interesting move there. Lindros came on to take the draw and then left the ice immediately.
Coming back out to take the face-off again, and there's obviously, he's either very fatigued and unable to take a regular shift here. Perhaps he has some sort of injury problem that we're not aware of. In any case, Eric Lindros looks as though he's just out there to take the face-off and then get off the ice. Something we haven't seen much of this year. A guy who usually plays about 40 minutes a game.
Lindros wins another draw against Infernuvo. Gives him a little shot. Here's Rob Pearson now. Lindros stays out. Pearson clears it out. Lindros gave Infernuvo another slash, and I think this time referee Don Van Massenhoven saw it. He has his hand up, and it's a slashing penalty to Eric Lindros with 3:43 left in the third period. Lindros got away with the first one, but he couldn't get away with the second.
Infernuvo and Lindros were giving each other right from the face-off. There had to be 3 or 4 exchanges. At the very end, Infernuvo was skating by. Lindros gave him a very hard whack. And the noise, as much as anything, attracted Don Van Massenhoven's attention to it. And then some play by Lindros here late in this game. 3:43 left. And the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds are going to have an opportunity to rally on the power play.
4th penalty of the hockey game to Eric Lindros, who has spent a lot of time in the box. 31 minutes total in this series for a man who spent 189 minutes in the penalty box this season. Slashing is the call at 16-17. So Sault Ste. Marie gets a chance on the power play, trailing by 2 with just over 3.5 minutes remaining. Once again, it's the big line out there for him. Colin Miller at center. Tony Yob is on right wing. On left wing, they've got Jarrett Reid. This is their #1 power play line. Brad Tiley's shot goes off the leg as he tried to clear it in. Hit referee Don Van Massenhoven to the delight of this crowd, which didn't like the call against Eric Lindros. Now along the boards is Colin Miller. Gives it to Yob. Yob behind the net, fighting for it. Miller gets it back to the blue line, and out it goes. Adam Foote is back to get it for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. 1 minute, 30 seconds left on the power play. 3 minutes, 12 seconds left in the period. Foote clears it in. Takes a glove in the face from Paul O'Hagan. Now in the corner. Here's Jarrett Reid. Kravich ties him up behind the net. Picked up by Craigwell and cleared out.
It's like a war zone out there. We saw Adam Foote's helmet come popping off. O'Hagan gave him a shot in the head.
Brad Tiley across the line. No one to pass to. It's picked up by Paul O'Hagan. O'Hagan in the corner. Clears it up. Foote tries to keep it in, but it finally goes out. Craigwell almost had a break, but now Craigwell will head off the ice for fresh penalty killers. Hoffman, Pearson come out for the Oshawa Generals. Yob stays out there for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Puck cleared in by Tiley, just wide. Here's Yob now. Tony Yob clears in front, intercepted by Kravich. Kravich off the boards, and once again it's down the ice. 40 seconds left in the power play with the Sault Ste. Marie net empty. They've gone to a 6-skater now, down by 2 with 2:15 left. They're on the power play. Puck cleared in. Picked up by Kravich, who clears it back out, and this goes just wide. And it's picked up by Bob Bugner. 20 seconds left in the power play. Mike Lenarduzzi has left the goal. 2 minutes left in the third period. Fountain picks it up behind the net. And now Ron Hextall clears it out. Picked up by Bugner. Bugner watched by Matt Hoffman, who almost intercepted it. Adam Foote now clears it ahead. Denny Lambert can't control it. 2 seconds left in the power play. Sault Ste. Marie retains possession. Denny Lambert winds up. Pad save by Fountain, who clears it into the corner. Brian Grieve behind the net now. Brian Grieve clears it up and into the crowd with 1:33 left in the third period.
Brian Grieve tried to bank that one off the glass and get it down the ice. In either case, there's either going to be an icing call or up into the crowd. And a gutsy move by Teddy Nolan pulling his goaltender, although it's a move that I really like because you're down 2 goals. You can end the series if you do win it. You might as well give it your best, especially when you've got the man advantage and have 6 skaters on 4 out there. Unfortunately for the Soo Greyhounds, they were unable to generate sustained offensive action inside the blue line. And we're fortunate, actually, to keep from the Oshawa Generals dumping it in the empty net.
Lindros is out there to take the big draw again for Oshawa. These fans may have yet seen the last of Eric Lindros. If Oshawa loses Game 6, assuming, of course, they win this game, Eric Lindros will have played his final game in Oshawa. He's given the fans here some great thrill. At most, he's got 1 more game left here at the Civic Auditorium. He's in to take the draw now against Colin Miller. They've gone toe-to-toe all night long. Miller wins the draw cleanly back to Immer. His quick shot goes just wide. Fountain didn't see it. Cleared up around the boards by Paul O'Hagan. O'Hagan shaken up on the play, but he stays out. The net remains empty for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Here's Colin Miller with 1:19 left in the period. Lead pass for Foote. He can't control it. Oshawa clears it in. Icing is waved off. Here's Sean Imber now. Foote didn't see the puck. It goes all the way up to Tony Yob. He's banged in the boards by Rob Pearson. Here comes Colin Miller now. Miller across the blue line. Foote managed to stay onside. Now here's Colin Miller right in front. Shoots. The puck came off the moorings, and it's no goal. The goal is waved off as Colin Miller put it into the cage, and now we've got a fight in front of the goal. It's Eric Lindros. Lindros and Tony Yob going toe-to-toe right in front of the goal. And now Lindros pummels Tony Yob to the delight of this Oshawa crowd. Eric Lindros got the right hand loose and really gave it to Tony Yob. And that's payback for something that happened earlier in the series when Yob cross-checked Lindros. That'll be the game for Eric Lindros. He leaves with 57 seconds left and his team up by 2. The question now is, will the fans here at Oshawa see him again? The bloodied Eric Lindros leaves the ice after a fight with Tony Yob.
More important than the fight was the disallowed goal. Mike Fountain, the net came off the moorings. Rick Kornacki right now yakking with the Sault Ste. Marie players. As Lindros went off the ice, a couple of Sault Ste. Marie players waved their glove over the board. Kornacki now getting into it hot and heavy with the Sault Ste. Marie players. Backup goalie Kevin Hodgson, number 55, standing in the alleyway there yelling. But the key play there was the disallowed goal. The net was definitely off the moorings before the puck went in the net. O'Hagan may have knocked that puck, may have knocked the net off the moorings. You see O'Hagan come into it, and boom. Gord, you said it best. Becoming an art form. You have to believe there that Paul O'Hagan slid right into the net, knocked it off.
The one key thing there is that the puck did not go into the net right away. It was tucked in later after the whistle had gone, perhaps. That may be the ruling from the referee. If that puck had gone in right away, they might very well have called that a goal. That's the new rule this year.
If you get a delay of game in the final minute like that, you're right, Gord. It would have been a goal. We saw that with Andy Moog in Game 7 against the Montreal Canadiens. Moog intentionally knocked the net off. Let's have another look at this.
Keep an eye on the puck here and when it goes in the net.
Yob right in on top. You see O'Hagan up against the net. Difficult to tell from that angle, but certainly the puck was sitting loose. And here's a good angle that we've got. You'll see Yob coming, crashing the net as he's done all night, and O'Hagan coming in and bumping the net. Fairly subtle. And at that point, the puck hadn't even got into the net. The only issue you might wish to take issue with there, if you're a fan of the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, is did O'Hagan knock the net off on purpose?
The rule says the puck doesn't have to go into the net, by the way. It can be an automatic goal. It's one of the rare instances where a referee can award a goal without the puck going into the net. And that was within the jurisdiction of Don Van Massenhoven, but he decided not to make the call, though. It'll be even strength with 57 seconds left. The Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds net remains empty. They've gone with 6 skaters. Eric Lindros has left the hockey game. He was cut in that fight.
Well, before Lindros started pummeling Yob, he took a couple of good shots to the head. Yob's a pretty tough customer.
Same thing happened early in this series. Yob cross-checked Lindros from behind. They had a scrap. So it'll be up to Craigwell to win this draw against Colin Miller. 6 skaters out there for Sault Ste. Marie. The Greyhounds have played it tough all night. And they will again with 51 seconds left. Pearson takes a bump from Pappas. Here's Gowdy now. Head to Bugner. His pass intercepted by Rob Pearson. Clears it but not out. Right on the second, Colin Miller, who was looking in front. But Danny Lambert couldn't control the puck. O'Hagan in the corner now battling for it. And content to draw a whistle with 34 seconds left in the third period. What a night of hockey it's been here in Oshawa between the Generals and the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds.
Being an exciting hockey game. Paul O'Hagan and the Oshawa Generals look at this point to be 34 seconds away from heading back up to Sault Ste. Marie. And I'm sure the Sioux Memorial Gardens will be hopping tomorrow night. More than probably about 4,500. Some of the best hockey fans in Canada will be jamming in there, hopeful of seeing their team win it on home ice.
The Sault Ste. Marie Memorial Gardens, the house that Bob McKenzie built.
I wouldn't go that far.
J.P. Davis now controls it for the Oshawa Generals. The Sault Ste. Marie net is empty, and Davis gets it out of the zone. Bob Bugner has it for Sault Ste. Marie to Perry Pappas. Pappas brought down by O'Hagan, but not before he gets it to Lambert. 20 seconds left in the period. Hoffman drilled behind the net. Goes right in front. J.P. Davis picks it up. His pass hits the skate. And icing is waved off. 10 seconds left now in the third period. Eddie Lambert has it. And the Oshawa Generals have forced a 6th game in the OHL final. They're going back to Sault Ste. Marie. Still alive. But now the challenge comes to try to take a game from the Greyhounds in a very tough building in which to win.
Well, the Oshawa Generals come up with a big win, stave off elimination. To be honest, I think they were a little bit embarrassed with themselves at how they played earlier in the series. They finally got a 60-minute consistent effort from their hockey team. And a big reason why they're going back to Sault Ste. Marie is right there, number 1, Mike Fountain. He's got to be the number 1 star of this hockey game.
The fans here in Oshawa standing for their hockey team, hoping they haven't seen the last of them in 1991. They're hoping they'll get a shot at a 7th game on Tuesday night. But first, Oshawa will have to win what promises to be a very tough game in Sault Ste. Marie. But the Oshawa Generals led this game after 1 and held on to it. And that's why they're going back to Sault Ste. Marie. The final score, the Oshawa Generals 4, the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds 2. Back with more in a moment on CHL Sunday night.
Basically, trucks are used for 2 reasons, hauling and towing. And for that, you need power. And the Sierra from GMC Truck has the most standard horsepower, which gives you the hauling and towing capacity you need. Plus, for 5 straight years, the GMC has retained more of its original value than any other full-size pickup truck in Canada. The Sierra, powerful and durable. The 1991 Sierra full-size pickup from GMC Truck.
MC Hammer, rap star and Pepsi drinker. Well, today, we secretly replaced his Pepsi with Coke. Let's see what happens.
Feelings, nothing more than feelings.
Hammer!
Problem.